Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
All right, places, please. The Daly Migs Show is on deck. Guitars plugged in. Drums ready to go. Chickens. Other animals. And action. This is the Daly Migs Show on The Rock with Taryn Daly and Steve Migs.
While listening to the Daly Migs Show, please refrain from any unnecessary finger gesturing.
99.9 KISW.
Welcome back, Rockaholics. Hey, Steve, I'm glad our key cards worked this morning.
Mine didn't at first, and I got really nervous. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. 1 and done?
Oh,
Give us at least 2.
Yes, yesterday was the big debut of the Daly Migs Show. My name is Taryn Daly. Of course, Steve Migs, my amazing co-host. Danny and Sarah in the house. Man, how did everybody sleep last night? Good?
I actually slept great. Like I was, dude, after yesterday's show, it was just, and shout out to all the Rockaholics, man. I'm trying to keep up on all the nice things that are being said and avoiding all the mean things. You know what? No, but it's been really beyond humbling. I know it sounds like something like a stock thing to say, but it truly was. Like every time, and one of my buddies, you know, Caesar, who listens to the show, great guy, he messaged me, goes, are you getting sick of writing thank you to everybody? I'm like, no. Like, the fact that people are showing this much support means the world to me.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Rockaholics. Let's keep it going. It's time to get informed.
Knowledge is power. So give us 5-ish minutes, and we'll give you, some interesting stuff you can talk about at work. This is the Daly Migs Download.
A.K.A. the DMD.
Here's your daily dose of doings happening in the world.
And the DMD is brought to you by Palace Law. Happy National Hypnotist Day. Has anyone been hypnotized?
I was hypnotized at my prom.
At your prom?
At my prom.
What kind of weird thing was your boyfriend trying to do?
I don't know.
He's like, I'm getting laid tonight.
Well, he didn't.
I never used to.
No, I did. I mean, it was the weirdest thing.
Wait, did you have a hypnotist at your prom?
Yes, we had a hypnotist as part of our after party or whatever it was.
I kind of love that. As a guy who had a magician at my wedding.
Oh, no kidding.
I kind of wish I would have had a hypnotist as well.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Do you remember what they did to you?
No. I think I took off a shoe or something like that.
Shoot.
I can't remember.
Wait,
I can't remember.
Do you not remember because just many years and many brain cells burned, or you don't remember because
I think it is a brain cells thing. It's a brain cells thing for sure.
Today's also Spaghetti Day.
Yum.
So I guess we'll head on over to the Olive Garden.
Now we know what we're having for dinner this evening.
And it's Trivia Day, which we celebrate every day at 6:47, 8:47 with Beat Migs, baby.
I love it.
All right, so the Kraken, tonight they're back on the ice. Go. I know, it's been a minute since the Winter Classic. I've been just waiting for the Kraken to do it up again, and they're taking on the Ottawa Senators at Climate Pledge Arena. They're riding a 9-game point streak, which is the longest point streak in franchise history. And, man, they're looking good these days. It's a good time to get hot. You know, we've still got plenty of hockey left, so there's still a chance for them to make the playoffs. And I would be shocked if they don't, if they continue to play the way that they're doing. So shout out to the Kraken. We call it Kraken Thursday. We're rocking our Kraken gear, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Go Kraken. There's a Pennsylvania family whose home caught on fire, and the culprit was their pig. Their pet pig was just trying to get warm. Here's the homeowner, Margaret, talking about how the fire was started.
His home was under the porch. I had added extra hay for him because I knew it was going to snow. He had a little heat light there in the front. See where there's a little board right there? And he must have knocked his hay into the heat lamp and caught the house on fire.
City folks just don't get it.
Wait, so correct me if I'm wrong. I think I heard her say they have a heat lamp for the pig. So they trust that this pig is going to be okay with the heat lamp. I don't trust myself in my own house.
No.
Because I remember I had an old house where I needed a heat lamp, and I was always so nervous I was going to knock something into it.
I mean, we don't have that for my farm animals because it never really gets cold to the point of them needing that. But in certain climates, I can completely understand the necessity of a heat lamp.
Is everybody okay?
It sounds like everybody's okay. The pig is doing just fine, and was just being treated for some burns and smoke inhalation. But otherwise, good to go.
You know who's not okay? In this story, I was just cracking up this morning. We were watching the video because yesterday I think I saw a story about Ian's earring, Beverly Hills 90210, Sharknado, that guy. And he got into a fight with what he called a, quote, mini bike gang. And if you don't know what a mini, I don't think they were a gang. They're just a crew of people who like riding their mini bikes. So those are like those small looking motorcycles that people, I don't know how people do that. Like my knees would blow out if I even tried to sit on one of those things.
Apparently you got to be very tough to be one of those riders.
Well, everyone was making it sound like this quote unquote mini bike gang attacked him in California. But now video has come out and the video tells a completely different story. Apparently what they were doing, everyone on these motorcycles, they were splitting lanes, which I don't believe is legal here, but it's legal in California where you kind of get in between all the lanes. You can kind of get past all the cars. Well, apparently Ian was not happy about that. He felt they were getting too close to his car. So at some point, and the video shows it, he just gets out of his car and just pushes one of the dudes from behind, knocks him over. Now everybody gets involved. The female motorcyclists, the dudes. And one guy tried to leg sweep Ian and he missed. And it was the video's hilarious because it's like the worst brawl that people are talking about. I mean, one guy goes for a massive haymaker on Ian, doesn't get it. Ian's trying to run away. They're all pushing him, but it looks like it was really his fault at the end of the day.
Do you think they had any idea who they were fighting in the moment, or do you think that was a realization after the fact?
That's a great question. And I don't know how big of a fan these guys of Sharknado they are.
Maybe they've never seen the movie. Too bad. Well, did you hear about the base jumpers? Literally right up the street from here.
Dude, that's bonkers that somebody did this.
Just catapulting off of a 37-story building in Seattle's First Hill neighborhood. They landed in a parking lot that was not far from I-5 and apparently took off running. I don't believe they've been identified at all.
No.
And what's really crazy, the building that they jumped off of has apparently only been around for a couple of months. So I thought maybe it was like some sort of grand opening celebration.
Okay, we're going to throw people out of our building just to say what's up. I couldn't imagine even trying to do that base jumping thing.
No, I didn't even know what base stood for. It's buildings, antenna, spans, and earth, which basically means like jumping off of buildings, radio masts, bridges, and cliffs. And I'm interested in none of that. I thought base was just like at the base of wherever they are. Thank you.
I didn't know that it meant something.
Well, I just Googled it this morning for you, Steve Migs.
I do have to give a quick shout out to one of our texters who just texted in and said, if a pig caught fire in my house, it would be changed to bacon real quick. Hey, as far as weather, we're going to hit a high of 48 degrees, have some rain as well. And that is the Daily Migs download. That's what's up.
So there's a dude that got dumped by his girlfriend, and it's all because of spaghetti on National Spaghetti Day. Steve, we're going to tell you all about it at 6:17.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Daily Migs Show with Taryn Daly.
I have an alter ego. Her name is Tarantula.
And Steve Migs.
Oh, drunk Steve would be like, you absolutely are in the right.
On The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
The Daily Migs Show welcomes you back. Happy Thirsty Thursday, Rockaholics.
So what's your drink of choice?
I mean, I'm kind of a boxed wino.
Oh, you and Sarah over here.
I think Sarah and I have different brands, though. I'm a black box girl.
I was about to say, you feel like a black box. That doesn't sound right. And I definitely saw her as a Franzia.
Are you really full Franzia?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God. I mean, that was like a college thing for me, for sure. Go Cougs.
I never grew out of it.
I respect it. Rockaholics, we need you to finish a very important sentence here. I can't believe I was dumped because of blank. 206-803-ROCK. You can give us a call. You can shoot us a text message. And we are asking because of a Reddit post that we came across where an anonymous poster claimed that she was dumped for telling her boyfriend that she likes to have corn in her spaghetti.
Now, it doesn't say the age, obviously. It's just an anonymous post. But I'm guessing 20s. Oh, yeah. Right? I don't think when you hit your 30s. I dumped people over some really stupid reasons in my 20s. Like, you kind of had like this, like, knee-jerk reaction of like something you didn't like, screw this person, and then you look back, you're like, that person really didn't do anything to deserve being dumped. Like that was silly.
Yeah, I guarantee this guy is young because he's unwilling to settle for corn and spaghetti. And her post said that, quote, he circled back around like 5 minutes later and said that it really bothered him. Okay. It really bothered him. And then he went on to say that if you worked tirelessly on a meal to cook for her, that it would be he would be extremely offended if the gourmet meal was soiled because it had corn in it.
Okay, well, he has obviously like some really lofty opinion of himself and his cooking ability. Maybe he does put out some great spaghetti, but I've never tried spaghetti with corn in it, and I would be up for trying it.
I would be up for trying that. What is his deal with corn?
I recently tried corn on pizza, and it was, Danny, no. Live a little, man. No. Have you tried it?
No, I haven't.
So and you can't have this attitude until you try it.
No, I would honestly, if my girlfriend put corn in our spaghetti, I would probably. We'd have to have a conversation.
You'd dump her.
Do you know what's crazy? Well, no, we went to a restaurant in West Seattle, and it was a burrito, and they put raw carrots, and corn in the burrito, and my girlfriend about lost her ass on it, and I was like, what is happening here? And so I think we're on the same page. So we found each other. So
right.
You know what? No corn.
No corn. Well, here's to further suggest that this person is maybe younger. The woman was broken up with via text, which in my opinion is just a big no.
I feel like that's the mature way to do it these days, right? It's just changing your relationship status on social media. Now that's immature.
Deleting all the photos of the two of you.
Well, I'll go back to the burrito thing because I think about, I get like that corn salsa when we go to Chipotle, and I love that corn salsa.
I like a corn salsa.
You're not wrong, but I don't know what it was about. Just like it was like a breakfast burrito, and it had corn and carrots in it.
The carrots part, I'm not rocking.
Yeah, it was super weird.
A little startling.
Yeah.
Sure. So I got broken up with once because I had braces. And
did they not know that or did you?
No, they absolutely knew that. But what happened was we shared a kiss, and his lip was cut on my braces, and then he broke up with me. This was in like 6th grade. I had just moved to Stanwood from Seattle. I was so excited to be starting a new school, and a boy showed an interest in me.
We're going to go to Makeout City.
And he was going to give me my first big girl kiss on the lips. And I cut his mouth with my braces.
He's
and
like,
then he broke up with
this.
me.
I'm not rocking
Thanks,
with this
Andy.
girl.
I'm really over it already. Can you tell?
Shout out to Andy. See, I look back on in my 20s. This was the dumb one. I broke up with a girl, and she was awesome. She was great. And I broke up with her because she referred to her food as yummy. And I don't know why, but she kept saying yummy. And it felt so, the way she said it was like almost like in that like Paris Hilton childish voice. It's like, oh my God, this food is so yummy. And I'm like, I can't stand hearing you say yummy.
What if she did it like Justin Bieber? Yummy, 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 yummy.
I don't even know what that is. And I hope to never know.
Honestly,
I know Sarah knows.
I saw Steve almost throw some paper at you right there when you started singing that.
I'm really into the Biebs. I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm not at all. I just know that song.
But once I hit like my 30s, I was thinking about, when you start like assessing like certain relationships before I actually, end up finding the woman I married, which, like when you have bad, you're like, man, I can't believe I'm putting up with this girl, but I was upset with a girl because she said yummy and she was cool except for that.
Yeah. I don't know.
We just do dumb things when we're in our 20s.
We do absolutely dumb things when we're in our 20s. Yeah. If you have been dumped over something silly, don't forget to text in 206-803-ROCK or give us a call. We would love to hear all about your complete chaos in the breakup world. It's kind of scary sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have that ridiculous situation come to a head in that way.
Absolutely. And then to find out, you're just like, I can't believe this guy just broke up with me over that. But
we will take your calls and your texts after Jimi Hendrix on The Rock.
The Daly Migs Show.
Top of the morning to you, Rockaholics, and thanks for checking out the Daily Migs Show. We wanted you to finish the sentence, I can't believe I was dumped because of blank. 206-803-ROCK. You can give us a call. You can shoot us a text message.
I do love the reason why we're doing this whole conversation is because somebody on Reddit said that she was dumped because she put corn in the spaghetti that her boyfriend made. He just couldn't handle that. And there are a lot of people texting like, yeah, who the F puts corn in spaghetti? That was funny. Another person, though, did say, you know what? I'm going to try this corn in the spaghetti. I think that sounds great.
They are little like flavor bursts, you know? It could be good. I'm not going to knock it till I try it.
Corn? Let's go.
Pokey in Tacoma. What's going on with your bad breakup situation?
Well, I was actually the one that did the breaking up. I would try the corn and the spaghetti, but I was actually the one that did the breaking up. This girl, she seemed perfectly normal at the time, like had her stuff together. But every time I would call her and ask her what she was doing, her answer was always the same: nada, lotta. And I saw her last night at Safeway, and I think she's homeless. And she had her 2 dogs with her, and I'm pretty sure she was being escorted out of Safeway.
Oh, my gosh.
She's bet as crazy now. And, like, she was raising a ruckus, and, like, people outside the car next to me, it was a couple, and they were talking about her. I said, it's pretty sad. I didn't mention that I dated her, but I said I knew her before she was crazy.
Did you go up to her and say, hey, you're still doing not a lotta?
No, I got out of there before she recognized me.
So how long ago was this relationship?
Oh, gosh, it was probably, well, let's see, I've been married for over 10 years, so it was like 12, 15. And we only dated for probably 4 months, but it was, I don't know, man. It was.
Did that blow your mind then seeing her the other day like that? I mean, that would have tripped me out.
It did. Also, when I did it via text message. But in my defense, I had a sore throat and my voice was going.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, you couldn't wait. You can, who needs throat coat when you could just text the breakup?
Maybe that's when she started spiraling. Was after the heartbreak.
That could have been the beginning of the downward spiral.
I'm not trying to put this on you.
Just put it in his hands now. It's your fault that she's in this situation. No, that's terrible. Wow, that's a whole other conversation of like, hey, how did your ex end up?
Yeah, I don't run into a lot of my exes, thankfully, but that's heavy.
I haven't, but I had somebody in my life reach out to me and say, hey, you dated this person once. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because he hit me up a while. It was like, hey, I've been talking to this girl. And she said that you guys were once together at one point. I just want to make sure you're okay with that. I'm like, bro, I've been married for over 10 years. I don't care who or what you're doing. Like, I appreciate that you want to like be a good homie and ask. But, man, I'd be a weirdo if I'm like, no, you can't date this person I'm never going to be with again. But he's like, is there any red flags? I'm like, dude, I dated her so long ago. That's not fair of me. We were young and dumb.
You can't judge her today based on yesterday's experience.
I do feel bad because he messaged me recently. And he's just like, hey, just to let you know, things were not very good with this person. Like they were out of their mind, like just mental. And he's just like, how did you put up with this? And I'm like, well, again, I thought she was just young and like, everyone's emotional and crazy, but apparently like bipolar and all this kind of stuff, like legit stuff was going on where he's just like, man, I wish you would have warned me. I'm like, man, I think I kind of did without really,
sure,
but what am I going to be like? No, man, she's crazy. When it was like, we were like 22 years old when we dated.
206-803-ROCK is the number to call or text. I can't believe I was dumped because of blank.
Someone texted in, I broke up with a girl once because she likes soccer and I don't really like soccer.
Oh, that makes sense.
And honestly, not that it would have been a game changer in my relationship, but I wish my wife was a bigger fan of hockey or, I love watching, of course, professional wrestling, but I can understand nobody likes that except for us weirdos out there. But it'd be fun to have that same interest. Whereas when we watch, she'll watch it with me because she's like, well, why not? I'll sit here and play on my phone while you're watching hockey. But it'd be cool if she was just into it as much as I am.
Yeah. It is kind of fun when you have a partner that has those same kind of interests. But, there's many things that my husband and I do not do together, like watch The Golden Bachelor. Sarah, I know, is a big fan of that show.
Yes, don't look at me. I'm not watching. I tried one episode and I was like, this is stupid.
Oh, no.
You didn't love watching old people make out?
That's why I tuned in. I didn't want to deal with the old people drama. I was like, I'm down for a good old person makeout session.
Because he was getting after it.
I mean, can you blame him? he had been with the same woman for 43 years. He had to kind of make up for some lost time there.
You're right. He sure did. And he really did make up for some lost time.
I know there was like a local person in it.
Yes.
Like a local radio
Actually,
woman,
she was a
right?
radio personality in Eastern Washington.
Faith.
Yep.
That was my girl.
I was rooting for her because she was from Washington. I think she has a son that's a Coug, go Cougs, and also works in radio. Pretty cool. So
well, 206. I definitely somebody who watches The Golden Bachelor.
206-803-ROCK, the number to call, the number to text.
So he just texted and said, I broke up with a girl in my early 20s because I hated her name. I absolutely hated introducing her to anyone. What the hell is her name?
What was the name? Don't leave us hanging, bro.
Was it like Clammy McClammerston or something?
Yeah, I don't even know. That's wild, man.
Although someone said I broke up with a girl once because her last name was Fish. And somebody said that she looked like a fish.
Oh, that's kind of unfortunate if you... if you're giving fish vibes and your last name is Fish, like a pufferfish.
A blowfish.
A blowfish.
I'm thinking more of a blowfish. Yeah, absolutely.
She should link up with Hootie. 206-803-ROCK is the number to call and the number to text. We are wanting to find out a weird reason you were dumped or a weird reason that you dumped someone else because of this Reddit post that we came across where a woman was broken up with for putting corn in her husband's spaghetti.
More people want to comment about the corn in the spaghetti, I think, than even the breakups. Because someone said, hey, I've been eating corn in my spaghetti for 40 years. My wife, nope. She doesn't like it.
I wonder where that originates. Because I'm sure it's not an Italian thing, Steve.
I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's never been something that's been a part of our situation. Mom never put corn in the spaghetti.
We have Holly in Puyallup. Holly, why did you get broken up with?
I was not fat enough.
What?
P-H-A-T? or just F-A-T. So he liked a girl that was thick with 2 C's.
Or 4 C's.
Oh, so he wanted a plumper.
I was around 300 pounds, but he liked my sister who was over 400 pounds.
Okay.
So what would he say? Would he say, hey, I want you to get bigger? Or like that's, I would never think to say something like to someone. I would never comment or like offer suggestions on somebody's weight, both, lose or gain.
Yeah.
We figured out it was an issue, and I was not going to put on the weight. And after we broke up, he was texting my sister for pictures of her belly button.
Whoa! So this is a full-on fetish thing.
Did your sister send pictures of it?
Yes, she did.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Are you two still friends, or were you upset with her that she was all of a sudden, he was moving on to your sister?
Oh, I'm still friends with my sister. They never actually hooked up. But he was a nice guy. Just I was not fat enough.
I think I'd have a problem with like my siblings sending a picture of their belly button to my ex. You were not at all bothered by that? Like she's like, hey sis, I just want to let you know he wanted my belly button picture and I took it.
I was okay with it. He wasn't mine anymore.
Okay, yeah. That's a good attitude to have.
Thanks, Holly. We appreciate it.
I'm just picturing him like putting extra scoops of protein and stuff into like all their food, or like saying, oh, these protein. Like, remember was it that movie Mean Girls?
Mean Girls.
Yeah. It's like here.
It just burns up all your carbs.
These are weight loss protein bars or whatever.
Rockaholics, how would you like a shot at playing Beat Migs? Because that is what is going down at 6:47. Give us a call 206-803-ROCK.
The Daily Migs Show. Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing. One retired cop returns...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Find your perfect fit with a custom suit from Indochino. From timeless classics to bold statements, you can express your style exactly how you want. Get 10% off any purchase of $399 or more at INDOCHINO.com with code PODCAST.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
The Daily Migs Show presents the most popular radio game on this side of the speaker. Let's play Be Migs. Be Migs, don't be a loser. Whoa! Be Migs, you're a loser.
Who's ready to be Migs? I know Craig from Tenino is. Craig, are you there? Are you not there? Oh, hello.
Hello.
He's alive.
Yay. I'm Sarah, your host, and it's time for you to get out of here, Steve.
See ya.
For those playing at home, Craig has 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. You can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
What is the title of the Harry Potter book that holds the record for the fastest-selling book in history?
Sorcerer's Stone?
No.
Chamber Secrets?
No.
Prisoner of Azkaban?
No. What English rock group performed during the 2006 Super Bowl?
Pass.
The most well-known hairless cat breed is called a what?
Migs.
No.
Pass.
What country uses approximately 4 billion miles of toilet paper each year?
America.
No.
Mexico.
No.
England.
No. What actor played Alex Keaton in the 80s TV show Family Ties?
Pass.
What mineral can you add to water to make things float easier?
Salt.
Yes. Tree and poison dart are types of what amphibian?
Frog.
Yes. Who was the first president to visit all 50 states?
Eisenhower?
No. Craig, you got 2 correct.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, that was a little tougher than I expected.
I struggled through that.
Really?
That was hard.
Would you have gotten as many as Craig or no?
I don't know. Maybe in the same ballpark as Craig. That was rough. I felt for you, Craig.
Steve,
It's okay.
Are you ready?
I think I am. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I really don't know if you are.
There you are.
So ready.
What is the title of the Harry Potter book that holds the record for the fastest selling book in history?
Harry Potter and the Wizarding Stone?
No.
Harry Potter Does Dallas?
No.
Harry Potter Don't Mess with the Potter?
No. What English rock group performed during the 2006 Super Bowl?
2006. The Rolling Stones.
Yes. The most well-known hairless cat breed is called a what?
Is that the Siamese?
No.
Sphinx.
Yes. What country uses approximately 4 billion
Spit
miles
over
of
my
toilet
microphone.
paper each year?
What country?
Yes.
America.
No.
Canada.
No.
Russia.
No. What actor played Alex Keaton in the 80s TV show Family Ties?
That's such a strange question. Okay, never mind. Michael J. Fox.
Yes. What mineral can you add to water to make things float easier?
Gold?
No.
Gold. I don't know. Sugar?
No.
Salt?
Yes.
Woo!
Tree and poison dart are types of what amphibian?
Maybe. Frog.
Yes. And with that, you get 5 correct, which is a win. 5.
Yeah.
Wow. You're simply the best. Are you the best, though?
Today, I'll take it.
That was a toughie, Sarah.
I guess.
Sarah's getting so judgmental with her beat Migs.
I just love that you questioned my toilet paper question.
What was the question again? It was just a very strange question in my head, at least.
It is very strange, and I don't know who did the research for this, but what country uses approximately 4 billion miles of toilet paper each year?
See, I'm trying to
Is it China?
It is!
Yeah, I have to go with China.
Oh.
Why?
Just population.
Oh. I was trying to think
The
of
maths are mathing.
to be honest with you, I was trying to think of what is like a food that would lead you to want to go number 2 more. And I was like, oh, maybe it's like, I don't know, Mexico, because, Mexican food kind of goes right through me. I don't know.
That's what Craig said, too, and it made me laugh out loud. I was like, whoa, because tacos or what?
Also, isn't there a story about the water? If you drink the water.
Oh, yeah. Montezuma's Revenge.
Yes. So I was like, that's where my mind was going after I threw out some stupid guesses.
Well, and you both said America, too.
Well, yeah, why not, man? We love our toilet paper.
And we love eating.
This is true.
Danny, what is the title of the Harry Potter book that holds the record for fastest-selling book in history?
I don't know what one it would be, but I would imagine it would probably be Deathly Hallows.
It is.
Yeah. So it's not. It was one texter just said Harry Plopper.
Okay.
Definitely. How is that the first?
That's the last book.
Oh, that makes sense. Everyone's all hyped up for the final book.
Yeah.
Exactly, which I think turned into 2 movies, which is ridiculous in my opinion for any book to do.
Wow. Dude, earlier I mentioned how I wish my wife was more of a hockey fan so she would enjoy hockey as much as I do. I think on the flip side, my wife wishes that I was more of a Harry Potter fan so we could watch the Harry Potter movies together because she tried to make me watch one. I tried to be a good sport and I fell asleep right away.
I'm the same. I've seen one. I saw it in the theater. I even had a little enhancement to maybe enjoy it more, and I couldn't get in. I couldn't get into it.
None of those. Like it was. I always put Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, like those 2 franchises or whatever. Like those movies and books, there's just never been something that I've been into.
No, so I'm not even gonna. Well, I'm going to ask you now, but you don't even know what house your wife belongs to?
What is a Slytherin?
Yeah. Puyallup. It's the Puyallup.
Hogwarts house, Steve.
And then there's Slytherin. Is there 3?
There's 4.
Oh, there's 4. See, that's how much I know. Yeah. I'm bad. I'm really bad. Speaking of bad, there was some news that was bad that I read on the internet last night. Did one of the drummers of one of the biggest rock bands in the entire world just announce the band breaking up via an Instagram post? We're going to tell you who said this after Green Day.
The Daly Migs Show.
Good morning, Rockaholics. I was a little troubled last night scrolling Instagram. I was scrolling through Instagram and I stopped on a post from Rage Against the Machine's drummer, Brad Wilk, who apparently has just announced on behalf of the entire band that Rage Against the Machine will not be touring or playing live again.
You sent it to me and it kind of, I would say it depressed me, but it definitely, I was just like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I have never seen Rage Against the Machine live.
And then we were technically waiting for the better part of 4 years.
Yes.
Because the original show that they had scheduled for Seattle, I think, was in 2020. And, that was a fun year for everyone. Thank you, COVID. And then the next time around when they had it rescheduled for 2022,
Zach had something.
He had an injury to, I think it was his Achilles. And then Tim Comerford had been battling prostate cancer.
Yes, that's right. I forgot all about the Tim Comerford part, too. I think he's fine.
Yes, I think he's doing great. He had a wonderful, team helping him through his treatments. But it sounds like now it's just not going to happen. The social media post said, quote, "I don't want to string people or myself along any further. I want to let you know that our ATM, Tim, Zach, Tom, and I will not be playing or touring live again."
Do you think that's because... I wonder how many times he gets people commenting on whatever post he puts up. Like, when's the band going to be on tour again? Because a lot of us were very bummed that those shows were canceled, but we're like, well, eventually they'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, I'll get to see Rage Against the Machine live. Never seen them live.
No, that's always been on my concert bucket list for 20 odd years, and I was feeling very hopeful, and now all that hope has been
seen
crushed.
Audioslave live a couple of times.
Same.
That was amazing. So Brad Wilk is one of my all-time favorite drummers.
He's a beast.
And only because he is the type of drummer that doesn't need to show off how awesome he is. He just lays down a groove. He did it great with Black Sabbath when he played with them as well. He played with this band called The Last International.
Oh yeah, I know that band because of you.
Yeah, they're amazing. If you're a fan of a female-fronted, bluesy, loud, just powerful rock band, definitely check them out. And he played on one of their records, so he toured with them, and they played not El Corazon, but the little room next to it, which I think is now called Funhouse. But at the time, it was just the bar at El Corazon, and they played there in front of maybe there was 50 to 100 of us that were there.
Crazy.
And the whole time, I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching one of my all-time favorite drummers in such a small setting. 20
feet away.
And he's crushing it. And the best part about that whole time, so I was all excited. I knew the band. I knew Delilah and also Edgy from the band. And I never met Brad Wilk. So I went down to the show, and they're like, oh, yeah, you got to meet Brad. That's going to be awesome. He's like, well, where is he? He's like, he can't come into the club. I'm like, what do you mean he can't come into the club? They're like, he lost his ID, and they won't let him inside until we play.
Wow.
So they're like, well, come with us to come say hi. So I go into their tour van, and there's Brad just sitting in the back of the tour van. Does not look very happy. And I don't blame him. He was super nice. But you could just tell he's just like, I can't believe this. I'm the drummer of Rage Against the Machine. I've toured in tour buses. I've toured all over the world like a rock star. And here he is, quote unquote, slumming it in a little white van and just sitting in there because he can't get into the bar because he doesn't have his ID.
Celebrities are just like us, Steve.
Shouldn't be that way, man. I just thought that was a funny moment where I'm just like, this seems a little strange.
Oh, another quote from his post said, I'm sorry for those of you who have been waiting for this to happen. I really wish it was.
So you've never seen them?
Never seen them.
Okay. And so they're part of your band bucket list?
For sure. And I did get to see Audioslave. I think the year was 2002 at the Paramount. Yes.
Paramount.
Right. And that was killer.
That was amazing.
But I always wanted to see Rage, and now those dreams have died.
I saw also Audioslave. They did, back when I worked at the End, they did these things called the End Sessions. I think they still do them, but they used to go to an actual small studio somewhere in Seattle, usually kind of an unassuming studio. And this one actually was at the studio that was owned by Stone Gossard from Pearl Jam.
Nice.
And so they performed for 20 people while they were touring in support of that first record. And I got to go to it, and I just posted up right in front of Tom Morello. I was just like, maybe no closer than you, 3 feet away from the guy. And my old boss was just like, watching you was the funniest part because it almost looked like drool was going to come out of your mouth because your jaw was just dropped the entire time. Because I'm watching really one of the greatest and most, I would say, one of the more interesting and creative guitarists in the world of rock, Tom Morello, just do his thing right in front of me.
Without question. I mean, he has such a signature sound because nobody else really manipulates a guitar the way that he does. I would have been losing my absolute mind watching that. And then with the whole Audioslave thing, it's like you take that powerhouse rhythm section from Rage and you put the vocals of Chris Cornell. That is, in my opinion, the greatest supergroup ever.
I always, don't at me on this if you want, but I love Soundgarden. I truly, truly love Soundgarden. But after Chris's passing, I became way more of a fan of Audioslave. That became, if I'm going to listen to Chris Cornell, I'm putting on Audioslave. I don't know why, but it's just something about the music and I think just the vibe and that insane rhythm section that I'm always going right back to them.
Well, and they're a little bit, again, no disrespect on Soundgarden, but Audioslave's a little bit more upbeat. You know what I mean? There's a little bit higher beats per minute in a lot of those songs, which I think is kind of nice too.
So who else would you put on your band bucket list?
I mean, I checked one off a couple years ago that's coming back again, and I highly recommend if you've not seen the Rolling Stones to go see them because that was definitely one of the coolest. I didn't see them until 2019, so that they were on my bucket list, and I'm going again.
I saw them. It was, I think, it might have been called Quest Field at the time. It was Seahawks Stadium, and it was them and the Dave Matthews Band.
Oh,
and I went more to see the Dave Matthews Band. Now looking back, it's kind of crazy. And I watched maybe 4 Rolling Stones songs. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah,
they've never been my band, so I just wanted to be able to say I saw them.
You know, there's one that's been I don't know what it is. The universe doesn't want me to see Weezer. I've had tickets to Weezer 4 different times. 4 different times.
I've seen them so many times.
I've never seen them.
So many, back when they first came back together after they broke up for a while, and they did, I was like, oh my gosh, because they were my favorite band at the time. I traveled to New Jersey to see them. I went everywhere to see that band.
Isn't the Blue album's
California.
The Blue album's turning 30 this year, Steve.
We don't need to talk about that. Danny, who's on your band bucket list?
You know, it's funny. I was trying to think about, because I've seen, that's all I did ever since I was 12 years old. I went to concerts, and I have seen most of the bands that I want to see. However, I would, and it's going to blow your mind, I think I would love to see Metallica.
Oh, you should.
I've never seen Metallica.
Great news. You're going to have 2 chances to do that in the summertime. August 30th and September 1st.
Finally this year, I will probably see Metallica.
See, I'm going not only to see Metallica because they rule live. They're so good, especially the last few times I saw them. I saw a couple times when I think Lars wasn't really... It seemed like he was maybe,
the weakest link?
Something was going on. I don't know what it was. He might have had some nasal issues. I'm not positive, but he just wasn't really on top of it. But the last few times I saw them, they're fully locked in and they sound great. But part of why I'm going is to check off a band on my band bucket list. Pantera's opening. I know it's not it's more of like a tribute to Pantera, but we ain't getting Pantera. And I love that they're doing it with the members that they're using are friends of the Abbott brothers, with Charlie on drums and Zach on guitar. I want to see that.
It's pretty amazing, just the footage of the newly reformed Pantera, and I'm with you. I never got to see them in those heydays, and I will be there with bells and whistles. Danny, we're gonna get you to your first Metallica show. So yesterday, you might recall, Rockaholics, that we had a caller wanting our help because he wants to date his daughter's best friend. And he wants to get his daughter's blessing on the radio this morning by asking his daughter. So we are going to chat with Jeff and his kid during Help Wanted at 7:17.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Yo, next round is about to start. You ready?
Yeah, just shopping for a car in Carvana.
For real?
Yeah, Carvana makes it super convenient to shop whenever, wherever.
For real? That's a ton of car options.
Yep, and these are all within my price range.
For really real? You can afford that?
Yeah, with Carvana. And boom, just like that, I'm getting it delivered in a couple days.
For really, really real? You just bought a car.
For real, and you just lost my turn.
Visit Carvana.com to shop for thousands of vehicles under $20,000.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
See the latest designs from your favorite brands, including Thermador, at your local Ferguson showroom.
The Daly Migs Show. Is your relationship doomed?
Need to know how babies are made? Did someone at work steal your stapler?
Do you need advice? We're here to help. No problem is too dumb. No dilemma is too silly. This is Help Wanted on the Daily Migs Show.
And don't be shy about it, Rockaholics. Help Wanted can be a small problem, a large problem, any problem in between. We want to hear about it.
We specialize in stupid problems.
We do. Well, yes, we've been there ourselves several times. 206-803-ROCK is the number to call, the number to text. You can also email DMS at KISW.com. We had a good one yesterday.
Yeah, if you missed it yesterday, oh my goodness gracious. So we had Jeff was on the phone, and his dilemma was whether or not he's getting divorced, and apparently found out that his daughter's best friend has a thing for him.
Yes, and there's not a super significant age difference. We're in about the 20-year or
18, I think.
18-year.
Do we have Jeff on the phone? Yep. Jeff.
Hey there.
Okay, good to have you back. Thanks for joining us. So yesterday we talked a little bit, and a real quick recap. You want to date and hang out with your daughter's best friend, right?
1,000% yes.
He's antsy.
And you said it was during the holidays when you overheard them talking, and she said that she had a thing for you, and you can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, the wheels were turning. Things obviously got a little bit tense and flirtatious, to say the least, over the days, after finding out about that. We both have never said to each other that, we would be into, getting into that. But I would love to start that conversation. Unfortunately, my daughter not necessarily thrilled about that idea.
One question before, because we were able to get a hold of your daughter. That's how we left off yesterday, is whether or not we were able to talk to your daughter, and it looks like we do have her on hold. But before we get to her, I was curious, how long have they been best friends? We didn't ask that yesterday. Are they childhood best friends, or are they best friends since being adults?
They have been best friends ever since middle school.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Jeff,
That's a significant period of time.
This has been a long time thing, and I have also known her since middle school. So it makes it a little bit weird. I've tried to blur that part out a little bit. But
Yeah, Jeff, that's kind of strange. I ain't going to lie to you. It's very strange. I was almost on board if you were like, yeah, they met at work 15 years ago. Like, go for it. Take her to Slam Town. But, man, that is kind of odd. Do we have
again, try to block it out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make things weirder for you.
Do we have Jennifer on the phone?
Jennifer.
Hello?
Jennifer, how are
This
you?
is Jennifer.
Jennifer, have you spoken to your dad much in the last day or so? Or is this what we're about?
I haven't.
Okay.
Well, we've been getting to know your dad. We've been getting to know Jeff. And we hear that he's going to be getting back into the dating pool.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy! Yay!
Oh, so you're happy that your dad wants to get back into so you're okay with the divorce happening?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I'd be happy for him if he went, on the dating apps, and I could help him make his profile.
Oh yeah,
you might not have to help
put those
him,
put those skills to work. So the news is that your dad already kind of has someone in mind. There's someone that's caught his attention.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
And he wants your blessing, I guess is the best way to say it. And I think Jeff, would you want to break the news to her, or do you need us to do it?
You guys might as well do it.
Oh, man. All right.
Okay, I'm nervous.
Jennifer.
Are you sitting down? What's going on is your dad has overheard that your best friend has a little bit of a crush on dear old dad.
How did he hear that?
At some point over the holidays when your best friend was over and you guys were, just exchanging words, he caught wind of the fact that she maybe thinks your dad's kind of a hottie McNaughty.
Yeah, but we all have those friends that have the dads that are like, oh, they're cute, but nothing would happen.
Your dad,
what's the issue?
Your dad, Jeff, had one of those glasses to his ear and he was up against your door listening. I'm kidding. He just said he overheard it because the walls are kind of thin. So Jeff, or AKA Dad, would like to know if it would be okay for him to pursue your friend.
Absolutely.
I really think this could be something.
Oh. No, absolutely not. What is wrong with him?
That's what I said.
Ew! Right? Dad, what? Ew! No, absolutely not. I will never talk to him again if he ever... Absolutely not. That is disgusting. What is wrong with you?
But look, you can't deny that there's been some tension between her and I lately.
I don't care. No wonder why Mom divorced you. You are so weird.
But wait, just 3 minutes ago, you were like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And so he wants to date somebody. And I mean, she's your best friend for a reason. She's got to be a quality person. Wouldn't you want your dad to get with a quality person?
You just said you wanted to build my dating profile.
Yeah, but not with my best friend that I've known since 6th grade. What is wrong with you, Dad? I think we want to talk to you right now.
We might need to let this breathe for a minute. We might need to let this breathe for a minute.
I don't want to talk to your father anymore either.
That's just sick. I mean, when she was born, he was going out to the bars.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's true.
I mean, your math is not wrong, but your friend is 32. It's a big difference from him hanging out with someone who's 12.
Yeah, it's only a little bit more life experience,
Jeff, you're not helping matters.
You know what, Jeff? Can you just shut up? Seriously.
Jennifer, I don't know if this is going to make you feel any better or not, but when I was born, my husband was in high school. So it does happen, and I know it's got to be a little bit weird considering he's your father, but...
It's only 18 years.
It's just a little bit.
Okay, Jeff, how would you feel, though, if your daughter came back and said, hey, I'm hanging out with maybe one of your friends, and there's an 18-year difference? Would you be okay with it?
I think it would just depend on the guy. It would just depend on the person. And look, Jen, you know me. I've been your dad. I mean, you know that I'm safe, that I'm not going to break her heart. Like, I think that makes a world of a difference.
You're saying, I'm safe. I'm going to use condoms. I was like, hey, man, Jeff, you're not helping your cause at all. So, Jeff, now that you have this information that your daughter clearly, I don't know if you got the vibe, but she's not approving of this whole thing. Are you going to still pursue the girl?
I mean, it's tough because, again, I feel like, after finding out she had that little crush on me, just the conversations we would have, just, the days after, and, just running into her every now and again, like there's that kind of like flirtatious rom-com energy going on between the two of us. And I feel like, it's hard to just step away from it just because my daughter's not thrilled,
Yeah, I remember that movie. I think it was called, like, My Daughter Hates Me for Life now.
I have two mottos in life. One is, if it feels good, do it. And the other is, the heart wants what the heart wants.
At the end of the day, I do want you to be happy, but I'm sorry, I don't want to hear you both banging in the room next to me. Like, that's just, I don't want to hear that.
Problem solved. I think it's time for you to move out. I know it's hard.
You're not wrong, okay?
It's hard. It's the cost of living here is ridiculous. I understand.
Dad, as long as you treat her well, I understand the heart wants what it wants, but at the end of the day, it is just a little awkward and weird for me, and you need to make sure you have her approval before you do anything, because what if she just thinks this is weird? Like, what if she just thought you were a DILF?
Are you a DILF, Jeff?
I mean...
Well, it sounds like we're getting somewhere. It sounds like we can tread lightly into this situation and we might find love.
At least we helped start the conversation. Yeah.
Jennifer, you're a great sport, and my heart is with you because I know this is probably a very difficult thing, but I'm excited. I hope we get to catch up with you guys sometime down the road and maybe find out if love did happen, if there was a spark.
I'm here for it.
I will absolutely let you know.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, I'm kind of rooting for happiness here.
The whole time I'm listening to Jennifer, and even someone just texted in, it just felt like I was listening to Sarah yelling at her dad. Like, it just sounded so... She sounded just so irrational. No offense, Sarah.
Wow.
She did. She went from being like, oh, I'm so happy, and then... I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Jeff sounded a little... Even some people said, this guy sounds like a creep. Jeff sounds like a clown. Mom divorced you definitely for a reason.
Oh, that was harsh.
Yeah.
That was really harsh. But thank you to those two. That was a lot of fun. If you are having relationship problems, Rockaholics, if you're having issues at work or issues with anything at all in your life, that's why we're here to help you. You can call or text the Daily Migs Show at 206-803-ROCK. Help Wanted will continue after the Foo Fighters.
Yes, the Daily Migs Show.
Great to be with you this morning, Rockaholics. The Daily Migs Show appreciates you tuning in. We are playing a little Help Wanted. And Help Wanted means that if you've got a problem that is large, small, somewhere in the middle, we want to help you solve it. So you can give us a call. You can shoot us a text message, 206-803-ROCK.
If it's a big problem, though, you get what you paid for. Because I don't know how much we're going to be able to help. And apparently we've developed a Jeff fan club on our text line. Not a lot of people happy with him, calling him a clown, calling him a coward. I can't really argue with anybody with what they're saying because, man, the longer we talk to Jeff, the odder things got.
And someone actually tweeted at us, to our handle is @DailyMigs, and said Jeff needs Jesus.
Okay, yeah, he needs something. He needs to find someone maybe that's not his daughter's friend. But we did get some text messages from people that just had a workplace problem, actually, that just got texted in. And they said, hey, guys, I need some help. I work at a job where I lied during the interview to get the job a few years ago. Well, during the interview, my boss kept talking about his family and how it's the most important thing to him and how much he loves his kids, blah, blah, blah. I think that's just funny how he said that. When he asked if I had any kids, I don't know why, but I lied and said, yeah, I do. I don't have kids. Hell, I'm not even in a relationship. Then we spent the entire interview talking about my kid and how great he is. I basically described my nephew. I even have a picture of my nephew on my desk at work to make it believable. Now he's planning a big family event, and he's invited a couple of us coworkers to a Kraken game. He has a suite for us and everything. And, of course, he wants me to bring my son. I'm worried that the longer this lie goes on, the more likely it's going to bite me in the butt. Should I just fess up?
Oh, no, I say bring the nephew to the game.
How good of a liar is your nephew?
Coach him up, let him know. Oh, my God.
Dude, we okay, this had nothing to do with this, but my wife and I were debating on if we want to try and coach our kid up to lie. And we both decided, no, we can't do this because we were going to like Holiday Magic or one of the Washington State Fairgrounds in Puyallup. They do like a lot of Christmas events. And one of them, we got a pair of tickets, but we assumed it was like the fair where toddlers get in for free. And then we looked and it said kids under 2 get in for free. And we're like, oh, Tatum's about to turn 4. What do we do? And they said, and the tickets we heard were sold out. So we're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like, we have a pair of tickets, but we have a toddler so like, do we try and tell Tatum, hey, if they ask, you're 2? You know, like, what do you do in that situation? So my thing was, I don't think we should lie, but I say you just hold her like she's a younger kid, like kind of like, and let's just see if we can get through the line without it. Luckily, they were selling tickets at the door, like at the little box, so we ended up buying an extra ticket because I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to set that example for our kid that you need to lie so we could get into something for free.
My parents definitely made us lie about how old we were when we were going skiing as kids.
Really?
Because kids under a certain age could ski free. So she'd be like, today you're 9 or whatever the year was. So, yeah, we definitely did that.
Danny, do you...
Oh, we encourage it all the time.
All the time?
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's actually not even me. It's her mom more than anything. They went to we'll just say an amusement park, and they gave wristbands.
Is it quite possibly the most pleasant place on earth?
No, actually.
Okay.
Different one. It's one of the ones where you stay overnight, if I'll just put it that. And they give you wristbands, and I guess apparently when you go and do the different attractions, they are supposed to mark it off with a Sharpie. Well, my ex taught my daughter how to use rubbing alcohol to take off the Sharpie marks.
Scammers.
So they could just keep going through and doing the attractions as many times as they wanted.
Wow, that's elaborate. I like it.
Yeah, and my daughter was stoked on it. And I was like, I don't know if you should be doing that.
Was she stoked because she's like, I'm breaking the rules kind of a thing?
That, and that she got to go on the attractions many times.
Well, I guess that is a fair trade-off. I guess we could have said, hey, Tatum, do you want to go in here? Or do you want to wait in the car while Mom and Dad enjoy Holiday Magic?
In that case, we're lying.
Because I was just like, okay, look, we'll try let's just walk in, ask no questions, tell no lies kind of a thing. Like, but if they call us on it, I'll just wait in the car or something like that and play on my phone until you guys are done playing on there.
I mean, how are they going to verify? Ask for her ID?
Yeah, but I mean, I think she doesn't look 2.
No, she definitely does not look 2. She's taller than my 4-year-old.
She's taller than you, I believe, right now.
That's
It's
probably
kind of
true.
ridiculous. So that's why I was thinking if we hold her, maybe wrap the jacket around her legs so you can't tell how long she is. But I was like,
I mean, and these are quick little lies. What that gentleman had texted in about, that is a very long, deep lie. And
somebody said, hey, just say that your son's got COVID. Problem solved. Staying home with Mom.
And then quit your job. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Definitely enjoy the Kraken suite. I mean, maybe go to your kid. Hey, your nephew. Then you got to get the parents. Are they going to be on board for that?
Maybe then they switch roles and the parents become the aunt and the uncle.
Okay.
But now we're getting the whole family involved in the
giant
lie so that we can all go to the Kraken game.
So why in the world would you make that up while you're doing an interview? I guess you get caught up in the moment.
You panic.
You're desperate for a job. You're like, yeah, I'm a family guy too.
Have you ever told a lie in a job interview?
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
sure I have.
I mean, I left out information, which sounds like one of those kind of a things. It's just like, I remember I was trying to find a job in radio, and I wasn't getting any luck. And I was just like, okay, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. This sucks. And then somebody said, you know why? It's because you listed your job experience as college radio, because I just got out of college. He's like, remove college radio and just have it say a radio station. And he's like, and if they ask you, then it's up to you. Do you want to lie or do you want to tell them the truth? That's up to you if you want to take that chance. And sure as that's, man, once I took that off the resume, so I left something out, I got a call for a job interview.
There you go.
Yeah.
Omitting information, not the same thing as lying. How would you like to win tickets to see Trevor Noah, Rockaholics? Have you ever had a run-in with the law? Any kind of run-in. It doesn't have to be extreme. It could be really stupid. We want to hear all about it. 206-803-ROCK. We will play Cellmates at 7:47.
The Daily Migs Show.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned.
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Now on the Daly Migs Show.
Damn. Some birds aren't meant to be caged. Yet, here we are, butt naked, eating soggy bologna sandwiches. Figure it's time to get busy living and get busy winning.
Let's play Cellmates.
It is the Rock of Seattle, 99.9 KISW, and the game is called Cellmates, Rockaholics, where lawbreakers become game changers.
Game changers.
It is your opportunity to pay your debt to society and win Rockaholics prizes. Let's meet our Cellmates, Courtney and Morgan.
Courtney.
Hi.
All right, you got to tell us, what is your big run-in with the law?
Okay, so last year, me and a couple of my girlfriends from high school, we've always played pranks on each other. We were all cheerleaders in high school, and so we've kind of kept this I wouldn't say hazing because I don't think you can say that anymore. But we play pranks on each other every year. We do really silly things, and so last year, me and two other girls. We went to another girlfriend's house, and we were TPing her house. We were putting ketchup and mustard on her door handles. We're all having fun. We're all doing this. It was about maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. It wasn't super late. And then the next thing I know, we have the community security come and yelling at us with flashlights. My two girlfriends run away. I thought, and this is kind of silly, I'm an adult.
Right.
It shouldn't be a big deal. So I walk up to the security guy and I'm like, hey, this is our friend. He's like, the police are on their way. You need to stay right here. And I was like, again, I thought, okay, fine. I can explain myself to the police, and at this point, my friend comes out of her house with her husband and her two kids. The police come and I get handcuffed and they put me in the back of the car. My friend had told them that it was fine. She knew that we were just playing around. And
I thought you were going to say
press charges.
I thought you said your friends were like, yeah, lock her up. We hate this girl.
Take her out of here.
It doesn't mean she wasn't happy with me after that, but I was still, the police said that I was still trespassing. So I still got in trouble. I had to do 30 hours of community service. And I'm a grown up, so it was pretty pathetic, to be honest.
A grown up doing grown up crimes like egging and TPing and condiments.
That's why everybody keeps telling, I'm an adult, but you were doing very juvenile things. It's you like to brag that you're an adult, but you're TPing somebody's house.
I love it. Sometimes people get tried as an adult. You should be tried as a child for this crime,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You should get a spanking and go back to your. No, that's probably not the right thing to do, right? Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Let's see. We got Morgan on the other line.
Good morning.
Tell us about your brush with the law.
So I recently just got my first ticket ever. and it was for running a red light. It was super early in the morning. I'm on my way into work, as I am every day. There's no one out in the road. So I, sometimes get a little impatient, and I don't want to wait at the stoplight, so I'll do a little peek, a little California stop almost, but straight through. And then I ran the red light, and I thought, the cop would take pity on me. It was my first ticket ever. I'm a pretty young girl. I gave a little sob story.
Did you unbutton your blouse like I see in the movies?
I have one little tear rolling down my cheek. Might have pushed my elbows together, and he still gave me a ticket.
Dang it.
What'd that cost you?
That cost me $200.
Oh, ouch.
$200.
It's a valuable lesson in patience right there, I tell you.
And now you've got a record.
Yeah, you bad girl.
Now I have a record. I'm on file for running a red light. And, early morning, no one's out on the road. Victimless crime.
Oh, boy. Well, our cellmates,
These
Courtney.
lights, they don't matter.
Our cellmates, Courtney and Morgan, are playing for this prize. It's tickets to see Trevor Noah at the Paramount on March 23rd. You get to pay this forward to a rockaholic if you are the winner. Now, Steve, help me decide who should go first between Courtney and Morgan.
That's a good one. I'm going to go with Courtney, the TP queen. Let's have her go first.
All right, Courtney, are you ready for question number 1?
I am. I'm not ready for the TP Queen title, but that's okay.
Okay, TP Princess.
Courtney.
Much better, much better.
Name one of the 2 zodiac signs associated with the month of January.
Hello? TP Princess.
Yes, I'm here.
One of the 2 zodiac signs associated with the month of January.
Capricorn.
Hey!
Did you just Google it? Keep breaking the rules.
All right, Morgan,
All right,
we're
so,
coming for you.
Morgan, if you get this wrong, that means that Courtney wins.
Morgan, on December 29th, Seattle experienced the greatest high temperature smash of the year, breaking the record high for the day by 9 degrees. How warm did it get in Seattle that day? 63 or 65?
65.
Wrong. Sorry, Morgan, but that was a lovely day. That was a lovely day in Seattle.
Yes.
Perfect day to run red lights, I tell you.
All right, Courtney, you get to throw out the caller number between 1 and 99 that you would like to gift these Trevor Noah tickets to the Paramount on March 23rd to.
16.
16. Any backstory behind the number?
It's my birthday, January 16th, and that's how I knew my Capricorn question.
Then what? How did it take you that long?
Just double checking. Just verifying.
You know what, Courtney? You rock. You know what? We'll hook you up also with some Trevor Noah tickets as well.
Yes.
Congrats, Courtney, and thank you, Morgan. Rockaholics, if you ever feel that you would like to pay your debt to society and play Cellmates, please email dms@kisw.com. You can also call or text us 206-803-ROCK.
That might be my favorite sound effect. And people texting and saying, I don't know why, but the wrong sound effect cracks me up every time.
Is that from a song?
I have no idea. It was in my box. I'm like, do we have a wrong sound effect? And that's
definitely
what I had.
gives some, country music heartbreak vibes.
It just sounds like it's there's more of an emphasis than like a buzzer. It's just like, you're wrong.
It's got a little growl in there.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Speaking of all about it, I'm all about gaming, man. I love video games, grew up playing video games, but I never did what this 13-year-old accomplished. They beat they beat a game that we all probably grew up playing, and we're going to tell you exactly what that game was next after the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Daily Migs Show.
Happy Crackin' Thursday, Steve Migs.
Back at it tonight. First game of the new year.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
on the heels of the Winter Classic.
Ottawa Senators tonight at Climate Pledge Arena. Hopefully the winning ways continue for your Seattle Kraken.
And I know Seattle is still a relatively new hockey city, so if you, like me, are still building your hockey gear up in your wardrobe, you should get the KISW hockey hoodie. It is in the Rock Shop exclusively at KISW.com.
Devil horns and tentacles.
You know it. A 13-year-old Oklahoma video game streamer by the name of Blue appears to be the first person ever to beat the original Tetris on the Nintendo Entertainment System, breaking several world records up to this point.
Okay, that's the Tetris that I grew up on.
That's the one I grew up on.
That was the one where my buddy Chris and we would always stay at his place, and then in the summer we go to this place in Breezy Point, New York. It was just kind of like a beach getaway type of a vibe. And our parents would get so annoyed with both of us because they're like, "You're right by the beach. Go and play outside." And we're just playing Tetris the entire time on Nintendo.
We had it on our, like when we first got a computer, like a PC, one that if it dropped on your foot, it would break it.
Yes.
We had Tetris on the computer too, and I remember playing it and my mom was into it. We were a Tetris playing family.
Well, I feel like that's one of those games where you don't have to really be a gamer to enjoy Tetris. It's a simple concept, and it's difficult, and it's stressful when it starts building and
faster
building.
And faster.
Like, just give me one of those freaking long ones. Give me a long one, damn it. And then they don't, and you're just like, oh, man, I just went to hell.
So in this version of beating Tetris, basically you just get so far into the program that the program crashes.
Okay, I thought that game never ended. Yeah. I don't know. So I guess he just kept doing it further than most people.
Yeah, here's the moment the video shows Blue beating the record.
Oh my God! Oh, yes! I can't feel my fingers.
Can't feel my fingers.
Just totally numb.
You know, if I didn't know how that game is, I'd be like, come on, what are you talking about? But you have to be fast at that point. Oh, yeah.
And how long did Blue have to play for?
I don't know. He's got a lot of free time.
That's
He's 13.
Bonkers.
What else is he doing?
Blue talks about it, too.
If you set your mind to something and you put work into it, most likely you will get it if you try hard enough.
Thanks for the life lesson, you.
My God.
He's not wrong.
I mean, when I was 13, I think we had Sega because we were a Sega household.
Okay.
And I only beat things by using the cheat codes.
Oh, you were one of those.
AA, BBB, AA, BBA.
I would always forget them, so I would just be like, oh, man, I just had to keep trying. What was your game of choice?
So we were a big Aladdin household. Do you remember Aladdin? I liked The Lion King as well, Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin. That one really frosted me. I was never very great at Echo the Dolphin.
See, I was a big Sega Genesis person as well, mainly because they had Double Dragon. And I loved Double Dragon. Was like Mortal Kombat, but it was like Mortal Kombat off of Wish. Yeah, it was like, but I loved that game. I remember playing it in the arcades and being so excited to be able to finally have it on a console. But it was funny because just the other day when I mentioned earlier how we were going to Holiday Magic or one of those events that happened at the Washington State Fairgrounds, I had a room in one of them, like kind of like you take pictures with Santa, but they had other stuff to keep you busy until it was your time to take a picture with Santa. And they had an arcade room. And it was so awesome because Tatum's like, I want to go in there and play. And I think it was Mortal Kombat or Double Dragon. I can't remember which one, but she walked right to that one. I'm like, you want to play? And she's like, yeah, Daddy. And I'm like, this is amazing. It was free for us. And I forgot how violent that game is. Not in a bad way. But I was like, we're signing up. I'm like, okay, you got to hit this to hit me. I'm going to hit this to hit you. And she's like all excited about it. And I got one shot in. And all of a sudden, the character that she was, all the blood splattered.
Oh, no.
And Mom's like, we're done with this game. I'm like, why? And she's like, yeah, why, Mom? And she's like, what's going on?
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough, and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. If they don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm. Justice for you.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Yo, next round is about to start. You ready?
Yeah, just shopping for a car in Carvana.
For real?
Yeah, Carvana makes it super convenient to shop whenever, wherever.
For real? That's a ton of car options.
Yep, and these are all within my price range.
For really real? You can afford that?
Yeah, with Carvana. And boom, just like that, I'm getting it delivered in a couple days.
For really real? You just bought a car.
For real, and you just lost my turn.
Visit Carvana.com to shop for thousands of vehicles under $20,000.
And I'm like, oh, no, he's spitting out tomato juice. What are you talking about?
Spilled his coffee. Don't worry about it.
We don't need to let him know it's blood. But I was like, oh, boy, that was a bad choice. We probably should have played something a little less violent.
Well, there's a member of our show that walked into the house yesterday and was absolutely shocked to see what their significant other was doing. We're going to tell you what they were doing at 8:17.
The Daly Migs Show with Taryn Daly.
I do know all about the nut milks.
And Steve Migs.
Danny and I, we do shower beers after every show.
On The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
The Daily Migs Show, day 2. My name is Taryn Daly. Steve Migs.
Good to see you, Taryn.
Good to see you, too. What a wonderful day we're having. And the question we want to know next, Rockaholics 206-803-ROCK, is what is the strangest thing that you have learned about your significant other? And we're asking because a member of our show just learned something new about their partner.
And that person is me. Got home from yesterday's show, pretty exhausted. It was a great day. Yesterday was a lot of fun, just seeing all the love that we were getting from all the Rockaholics. And again, shout out to everyone who sent us messages. We're trying to get to all of them. You're all just incredible. So I get home, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited to see Tatum and my wife, and they were upstairs. So I walk into the house, and I noticed that something was, like, cooking on the stovetop, like one of those giant. So recently my wife is got into, like, making bread, which is awesome. Like, but she's obsessed about it. Like, she has, like, I didn't even know there was such a thing with, like, sourdough bread.
She got a starter.
Okay, I didn't realize. Yeah. Like, is it like, so you need something to start your sourdough bread? And I know she's passing it around with all of her other girlfriends. Like, it's like crack to them.
And some of these starters are like 100 years old, like is how long they date back to. It's bonkers.
I don't understand. Like, y'all got that starter?
Nope.
Y'all got that starter?
Trust me, my neighbor gave me a starter and it died because I didn't know what I was doing.
What do you do?
I don't know. You're supposed to like let it grow and then you can split it and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I failed miserably, so I don't have the right.
She kept talking about it. And finally, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought like you said something that sounded like you had a flub on your words. Like, you keep saying starter. What does that even mean? Is it, and then it was like, is this like kombucha? Like, isn't that also like kind of like a thing where like you have something and it keeps growing? Or,
it's alive.
But then I see her like when we're all out and about with like our friends and family, and like she mentions it to one of her female friends. I'm not saying it's a female thing, but like that's just what it is in our world. And they're all, and she's like, I could give you some of that starter. She's like, oh, please do.
Oh my gosh.
And so she's making all this sourdough bread and all these other breads, and they're really good.
So she's handy.
So she's into this bread cake. So I get home, I'm like, oh, she must be doing some kind of other bread. So I go over there to see what it is. And it's just this weird, ugly green glob of something inside in like that big pot. So this part of me is like, should I try it? Like, what is this? Like, I'm thinking, like, should I taste this? Like, is this some kind of weird bread? And finally, I'm like, hey, babe, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I'm making Play-Doh.
For the underground Play-Doh circuit.
I'm like, do you have a starter for your Play-Doh? Like, what is going on? It's like, oh, yeah, I just made this purple glob as well. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with my wife? And she lost her mind. And then, like, after a couple of minutes of, like, just thinking about it, I started touching the Play-Doh. I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like, this is homemade Play-Doh. I've never heard of such a thing. So finally, I'm like, why are we making Play-Doh? And she's like, well, because she teaches Sabbath school at the church.
Nice.
And so she wants to do, like, a project that involves all the kids playing with Play-Doh. And she thought it would be fun to learn how to make Play-Doh, which I didn't even know was a thing.
I could have just donated all the Play-Doh I've thrown away to your wife's Sabbath school because that is like one of the kid toys that has just... It's the bane of my existence. I can't tell you how much I've thrown away.
We have so much Play-Doh. That's why I was like really confused about the whole situation. But I'm going to be honest with you. For some reason, it hits different when you realize that somebody just made it from scratch. Like, this Play-Doh is the best Play-Doh I've ever played with.
I like that.
Very strange.
Well, good for her.
So apparently now my wife is just a Play-Doh maker.
I love it. It's going to be a new Etsy thing. It's a whole thing. I don't think I ever really learned anything strange about my husband. Except I did find out that before he got into the career he's had for like 30 years, he was a construction guy. So I didn't know that he, used to like hold a hammer and do all these things. And then it kind of got a little bit sexy for me because he would like get the tool belt out and put it on. And I was like, yeah, I need you to hang a picture. The littlest things. I'm like, can you get the tool belt, please?
So it's not his actual job of being a radio guy.
He's a radio guy. So he's been doing that
That's not attractive to you whatsoever.
No. Get those headphones out of here.
Yeah, put a hard hat on.
Put the belt on, bring it in here for the smallest of tasks.
That's funny. All right, what about you, Danny? You've been with your lady for quite some time now.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that I didn't I guess something that I found out, but I found it out during COVID was more of that she was really into the crystal thing. And it was one of those.
Well, like the crystals kind of dictate your energy.
Oh, yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she doesn't go fully into it, like where she's like, oh, I'm going to carry this stone with me all the time. She just likes to spend a lot of money on pretty rocks. And so, like, every time we go somewhere, she's like, we got to find a crystal shop.
Just go to the Curiosity Shop on Pike Place or on the pier, and you can get like a bag for $4 of all the rocks that you want. Tatum gets them all the time. She loves them.
What you're talking about. And my daughter is into those ones, actually.
Yeah. So.
I believe the term for those people, they're rock hounds. You're a rock hound. That's what you're called.
Yeah, and I did not expect that because she didn't like to go hiking. She doesn't actually like to go out in nature and find her own. It's like, no, I want to go find the expensive crystal shops and then put them all over the house. So we basically live in like a cave these days.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I can't judge. My wife makes Play-Doh.
Yeah, it's fine.
What about you, Sarah?
I am constantly finding out and continuously will that my husband's just a nerd. He like kind of looks like this, jock broy dude. But I mean, when COVID hit, he became so into like painting those little Warhammer.
Like the tiny guys.
The really, really tiny guys.
Like super intricate, too.
Super intricate, super like you need binoculars or whatever to
And a
actually
headlamp.
see. Yeah, he has all of that. He has all of
He
that.
has a headlamp?
Oh, he has a headlamp. Oh, it's ridiculous, our downstairs. Yeah, he's just like a huge nerd.
I love that about him. I did not see that coming.
It's so weird. The documentaries he watches, he was really into like researching about aliens. He's wild.
Are you married to Tom DeLonge from Blink-182? What's going on here?
Dude, anytime he's on his phone, he has no social media. So I'm like, what are you doing on your phone? He's like, I'm reading about aliens. I'm like, all right, babe.
Oh, no.
All right, babe. Here
Love
we
it.
go.
Does he think birds are real?
I don't know. He probably thinks they're aliens. I don't really talk to him in depth about that.
Was he into the Warhammer stuff before you guys started? Is this like a recent thing? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean,
Was it your father that got him hooked into it?
Well, my father forced him to paint some of his little gaming things, so maybe. But he just loves
Forced
it.
him? I'm picturing like the scene from Misery, and he's got your husband in shackles.
Getting ready to cobble his ankles.
I'm going to cobble you and break your ankle.
Well, I mean,
if you don't paint this little figurine for me.
We do live in his house still, so I
Right.
mean, it is kind of he has to forced to do something. But my dude's a construction guy, so he does all the things around the house.
He's probably got a tool belt.
Because there's a lot
got
of
many.
things as we've gone on, like we've learned about, like, that your husband was once in a band playing bass.
Yep.
He was once a male model.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is quite the resume.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
He was a little tennis star.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So he's an athlete and a nerd.
Yeah. And really smart.
That's amazing.
Why is he with you?
I really. I mean, I can think of some reasons, but I don't think it's my brain. That's
He doesn't have social media, so no, there's all these women out there for him to.
Just keep that blindfold on. Just keep that blindfold
Somebody
on.
says I work in construction. Thanks for the ego boost, Taryn.
You know it, baby.
And somebody just texted in, my wife's been into bread lately too, Steve, and I'll never go back. I asked her to make me subs, the sandwich bread for my work for work all the time. I feel like a pain helping her out with doing all the dishes for the fresh bread, though.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I agree. Like the fresh homemade bread, it is way better.
I don't need a husband. I need like a pioneer woman wife is what I need. I need someone to make my bread.
Oh, I got someone for you. She'll make your Play-Doh too.
Rockaholics, what is the strangest thing that you found out about your significant other, or what is something odd that they would have learned about you? We want to hear from you, and you can call us 206-803-ROCK. We will take your calls after Def Leppard.
The Daily Migs Show.
So happy to be waking you up in the mornings, Rockaholics. This is the Daily Migs Show. My name is Taryn Daly, and Steve Migs, we just learned today that your wife is a Play-Doh maker.
She makes her own Play-Doh.
She's
and it's
making
pretty
her own
impressive.
Play-Doh. I think that's awesome.
Although it seems like the textures are more like zoned in and dialed in onto the whole bread making thing. Some people are like, hey, can you get your wife to give me some of that starter?
Oh, yeah. What we want to know is the strangest thing that you have learned about your significant other or the oddest thing that they would have learned about you. So give us a call, 206-803-ROCK.
I do have to say, one of my buddies, Craig, just texted because he's listening to the show, and shout out to Craig. He says, my wife, it's so funny you guys are talking about the bread because my wife just got a Dutch oven, insert joke here, for Christmas, and I've been blessed with warm homemade bread for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, my gosh.
We got one, too, for Christmas. This is how obsessed my wife was. She didn't want to spend the money on getting us a Dutch oven, so she got it for, what is it, the white elephant thing you do with your families?
Oh, of course.
So that was the thing that she got and put it into the mix, knowing full well not a single person wanted that Dutch oven.
She's going to steal it back.
She grabbed it. Nobody took it from her. I was like, oh, I just want somebody just to troll you so bad and take it from you.
That was smart. That was very strategic on her part.
Right?
So we have a neighbor across the street, and she made a pesto star bread out of her sourdough, and it was next level. I mean, it was the star, no pun intended, star bread, star of the show on our New Year's Eve celebration.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Another person, my pastry arts teacher, gave me sourdough starter from a San Francisco bakery that's 117 years old. I've fed and kept it alive for 10 years now, and that's from Derek in Tacoma. And then someone's like, hey, I'm an introvert. Can you start a starter on your own, or how does one start a starter for bread? Your internet might be your best friend because I have no idea.
I don't have any idea. I mean, this is like dating
$50,
back.
I'll take my wife's starter.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a baker in any way, shape, or form. So that is an art form that I've not been blessed with.
Someone did text in about the odd things that you found out about your significant others. And this person said, my husband wears his underwear inside out. What the F?
On purpose?
I would imagine so.
I
had a buddy in college that would wear it the right way, and then the next day would flip it inside out because he felt like it was clean.
Oh, my.
But he's in college. I mean, we're all dirtbags in college.
I just have never understood the point of that. Because, at that point, it's the
dirty.
There's stuff, there's smell's still there.
Just wear it the same way, too.
Right.
I would be less grossed out if you just said, I wear the same underwear 2 days in a row.
Exactly.
Personally.
Oy, oy, oy.
Someone texted in and said that my husband will only drink drinks through a straw. We have so many straws in our house, the accordion kinds, even the loop kind. As a gag gift, I once got him one of those helmets that holds 2 drinks and the straw comes out of it. He wears it for every Seahawks game. It's kind of cute, LOL.
Well, I've heard that drinking out of a straw helps preserve your teeth a little bit better, too, because especially if you're a soda drinker or a coffee drinker, drinking with a straw helps all that stuff that can discolor your teeth move to the back of your mouth. So maybe it's for
but I can't stand
dental reasons.
But I can't F with the paper straws.
Oh, because they just disintegrate.
The worst.
So fast.
Yeah, and once you put your mouth on that's like taken out of context. But once you put your mouth on it just feels weird.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know about this. Can we figure this out? Someone texted and said, my wife has full-on conversations with our dog.
I mean, I do that.
I was going to say, the odd thing is that you think it's odd.
I sing songs to my dogs. I make up songs for them.
Like what?
Kai boy is a fly boy. That's Kai boy. He's a fly boy. Kai boy, fly boy. He's so fly.
That's a B-side on an Offspring record, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, the other one, so we got a new puppy because I'm insane. So we got a new puppy. His name is Brute. And I sometimes sing like the Tutti Frutti song. But I'm like, Broody, Broody, oh, Rudy, Broody, Broody, oh, Rudy. So sometimes it's my own compositions. Other times I'm just parodying a song from my dog.
Yesterday you mentioned how the AI software is going to figure out how to get dogs so you can understand what dogs are thinking, or like we can have full-on conversations with dogs or whatever. I kind of want you to be the first test subject just so we can hear what your 2 dogs think when you sing these songs.
I will sign up to be the first. I want to know. They probably just resent me and hate me for my terrible song choices.
We have struck a nerve with sourdough starters.
Wow.
The texts are coming in. Dude, I thought it was an odd thing. I did not know this even existed until about a month ago when my wife started making this bread. So I said, back to the sourdough. I saw on Instagram that my cousin named her sourdough starter Creston Timberlake, and it has its own Instagram account.
Stop it.
What is happening?
It's a sourdough revolution, baby.
Why does sourdough need to be... I don't understand any of that.
Well, and I don't know how you felt about sourdough as a kid, but as a kid,
I love sourdough.
I hated it when I was a kid. But now as an adult, that's my choice bread.
Like if I'll go to Jack in the Box, the sourdough Jack is that's like the king of all the sandwiches there.
I think you're absolutely right.
So I said my wife stands up after going ski. I've been married for 25 years.
Wait, what?
I said my wife stands up to wipe.
Like stands, like straight legs?
Oh, no, like stands up. Like, have you stood up off of a chair?
Yeah.
Like, that's your toilet, and like you're done doing it?
Oh.
All right, we're about to learn stuff about the members of the Daily Migs show, because I stand up, too.
I mean, that's why I'm trying to figure out what's the right way.
Well, I guess the right or white way would be sitting down, according to this texter.
I don't think sitting down. I stand up as well.
I mean, I don't stand up like...
Well, yeah, of course you don't like stand up like you're like
straight
saluting to
legs.
like an officer.
There has to be an angle.
A little bit of a
A
squattage.
slight angle.
Without getting gross, like a slight squattage.
I think the problem is that I have like such a weird view like right now that I can't even picture how I'm standing.
It's like, No,
I get it. Thank you.
Yes,
almost like
it's a stance.
It's almost like I'm ready to like go head to head against a wide receiver in a game.
It is a stance.
Yeah.
It's a wipe stance.
Why are we taking pictures of this?
Everyone needs to see it.
I think I described it well enough. We don't need to see it.
you did.
Yeah.
What is the caption going to be?
Just a limber knee,
What's Steve's safety position?
Steve
as a cornerback.
I was going to say, how do you prefer toilet paper?
Well,
Steve giving his old double ply stance.
The double ply.
I don't think that's all that strange.
I feel like I smell an endorsement coming, Steve, that you're going to be on the front of a pack
Smell
of
an
toilet
endorsement? I don't want to smell
choice of
anything.
You're
words.
going to be on the front of a pack of toilet paper
Bro.
doing the stance.
That would be Mecca. I've had a lot of cool things happen in my life. Been very blessed. I ain't gonna lie. Like some pretty awesome things have happened throughout the last 20 or so years of being an adult. That would be the greatest thing that had ever happened to me.
It's a whole new meaning to STP.
Yes. If there is a way to get my likeness on a toilet paper roll, I'm in. In the
All right.
rock shop.
Well, now it's out in the universe. Rockaholics, how would you like a shot at playing Beat Migs? Because that is the game coming up at 8:47. 206-803-ROCK is the number to call.
The Daily Migs Show.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Find your perfect fit with a custom suit from Indochino. From timeless classics to bold statements, you can express your style exactly how you want. Get 10% off any purchase of $399 or more at INDOCHINO.com with code PODCAST.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
The Daily Migs Show presents the most popular radio game on this side of the speaker. Let's play Beat Migs. Beat Migs, don't be a loser. Whoa! Beat Migs, you're a loser.
Who's ready to beat Migs? I know Pat from Auburn is. Pat, are you there? Pat.
I'm here.
Awesome. I'm Sarah, your host, and it's time for you to get out of here, Steve.
See ya.
For those playing at home, Pat has 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. You can pass all you want, but you only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Sure.
What country singer originally wrote the hit song I Will Always Love You?
Dolly Parton?
Yes. What Toy Story character famously said, "There's a snake in my boot"?
Woody?
Yes. In a quest to replace rubber, James Wright accidentally invented what gooey toy?
Play-Doh?
No.
Silly putty?
Yes. According to Instacart, what salty food is the most disliked in America?
Pass.
Jacob Black is a character in what Stephanie Meyer book series?
Pass.
Kim Kardashian's third child has the same name as what famous U.S. city?
Memphis?
No.
Pass.
Beginning with D, what is a male honeybee called?
A drone?
Yes. Bob Barker passed away at what age?
99?
Yes. What state is known as the Badger State?
Wisconsin?
Yes. And with that, you get 6 correct, Pat. Okay.
Nice work.
I know. In the beginning, really well. Then I got a little scared and then ended it really
Strong
well.
finish.
Yes. Yes. I think this is going to be a close one. I think Steve might have it, though, to be honest.
We will see.
Steve, are you ready? Okay. Wow. Not that kind of ready.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
That's better.
Those two together is really funny.
It's so better.
I'm at war with the sound effects box.
What country singer originally wrote the hit song I Will Always Love You?
Dolly Parton.
Yes. What Toy Story character famously said, "There's a snake in my boot"?
Buzz Lightyear?
No.
Woody?
Yes.
That makes sense. He has boots.
Yeah. In a quest to replace rubber, James Wright accidentally invented what gooey toy?
Oh, silly putty.
Yes. According to Instacart, what salty food is the most disliked in America?
Salty food. Saltines?
No.
Oh. I like saltines.
I do too.
I'm not taking a shot or anything. Pretzels?
No.
I also like pretzels.
Same.
Anchovies.
Yes. Jacob Black is a character in what Stephanie Meyer book series?
Pass.
Kim Kardashian's third child has the same name as what famous U.S. city?
Brooklyn.
No.
Oh. West.
No.
Dakota.
No.
Nevada.
No. Beginning with D, what is a male honeybee called?
Dork.
No.
A dimple.
No.
A dingle.
No. Wow. Pat, I'm sorry I didn't have faith in you because, Steve, you got 4 correct, which is a loss.
Oh.
6-4.
Nice work, Pat.
I wiped you like the toilet paper you are.
That sounded very weird.
I mean, it did, but he's not wrong.
No.
I'm so impressed you got anchovies right.
Well, I just kind of slowly started like figuring it out in my head. I'm like, well, people hate anchovies and they are salty.
They're super salty, I hear.
And that's a big part of why I think they work so well, though, with like the Caesar salad. They
Yeah.
add
Sure.
the salt to it.
Ugh. Jacob Black is a character in what Stephanie Meyer book series?
Twilight.
Sure is.
Never read one, never seen the movies, but I know the name.
You're either Team Edward or Team Jacob.
I'm team neither.
Fine. Kim Kardashian's third child has the same name as what famous U.S. city?
I kept saying states outside of Brooklyn. I was saying states, too.
Steve
no
and Danny,
idea.
we have been there multiple times together.
Chicago?
Yes.
No way.
What?
Yeah, that's her third child's name, Chicago West.
Chicago West?
All of the names are weird.
I know.
Like North, the first child is Northwest.
That's kind of clever. Northwest.
Do you want to be named North, though?
I'd rather be named North than Chicago. But also, if I'm getting that Kardashian money, you can name me
doesn't
whatever.
matter.
You can name me Dingle. Fingal West. I'm fine with that.
And one Pat got correct that you didn't, beginning with the D. A male honeybee is called a drone.
A drone.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
No. Thank you, Pat. Dropping knowledge.
2 you didn't get to. Bob Barker passed away at what age?
69. 99.
Yep. I was like, add a lot of years to that.
Yeah.
And what state is known as the Badger State?
Wisconsin.
Yes. You still wouldn't have won, but
Thank you, college football.
congratulations on losing,
I
Steve.
do wonder how many people know certain states or like, nicknames for states only because they're like a college football team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if any of you guys watch Wheel of Fortune, but it's very popular in our home. And last night, someone lost even though the puzzle was fully completed. So how did that even happen? We're going to tell you after 3 days grace.
The Daily Migs Show.
Well, with one full show under our belts and another one in the works, we have the Daily Migs Show Daily Podcast available.
It's out there already.
It exists on the Odyssey app. You can download that in your app store. AUDACY is how you spell it.
Get our show, The Men's Room. If you miss Beat Migs, you can check it out there as well.
We have a whole
Everything's
host of podcasts from the incredibly talented people at the Rock of Seattle. It's all on the Odyssey app. So in my household, we're a big Wheel of Fortune house. I give that show full credit for how well my 4-year-old knows the ABCs and was able to identify the letters of the alphabet at a very young age.
You guys watch it that much?
Oh, yeah. When he was like 2, that
Do you
was
watch
his
it
show.
live or do you DVR it?
We watched it live quite a few times, but we would DVR it. He called it his show.
Okay, I wish my kid was into Wheel of Fortune as opposed to Paw Patrol toys on YouTube.
I mean, he's not as into it now as he was when he was 2 and 3, but it was that and the Wendy Williams show were his favorites.
So he's aged himself out of
He's like
Wheel
an
of
old
Fortune.
man.
He'll get back into it when he gets super old because I think a lot of old people watch it as well. I haven't watched an episode of Wheel of Fortune in forever. I think the only way I know Wheel of Fortune is I keep up on like social media because there's always something funny that happens on the show. I just wait for that to get shared on social media.
Well, and that's exactly what went down last night. There's a woman who was on Wheel of Fortune. She had the entire puzzle completed. She finished it, but she mispronounced one of the words and lost to the next player. That word, congenial. So here's Pat Sajak breaking the bad news to her.
Shauna, would you read what's up there, please?
Conjugal company and clever conversation.
No. Steve. Congenial company and clever conversation. Yeah, we need to kind of a coined word there you had. I'm sorry.
F you, Steve. Congenial.
I didn't realize that was a thing that could get you out, was mispronunciation.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
There was a time, I can't remember when it was. It was several years ago that somebody had a chance of winning, I think it was $1 million on the spin, on the puzzle. And they pronounced Achilles wrong. I almost said it the way that they said it because they pronounced it Achilles.
No.
Yes.
That's devastating.
Yes, and it was the same kind of a thing where it was just right there. All they had to do was just say it. That's my biggest. I don't have really. Why am I saying it's the biggest fear? I'm never trying to get on Wheel of Fortune, but if I was on Wheel of Fortune, that would be my biggest fear. Is because I butcher the English language, from 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. The idea of then like money being on the line if I screw up a word, that just seems terrifying.
Wheel of Fortune is the show that I have the most confidence that that'd be decent at as far as, game shows go.
Oh, I think for me, it would definitely be Jeopardy. I'm kidding. I don't even think I would do well at Teen
We'd have to put you in the high school Jeopardy. So you can
who's
compete at that
smarter than
level.
a fifth grader if they did that show again? I think for me, it would be Price is Right.
I love Price is Right.
Yeah.
That's just like a very jovial, fun-loving, everybody's in a good mood, they're dressed up. Drew Carey's a party animal. It's great.
What would be the show that you'd have? Would it be Wheel of Fortune that you would love to go on?
That's probably the one I would pick.
I think I'd want to do it. Was it? Remember Press Your Luck? No. Is that the one with the no whammies?
Yes.
Yeah, no whammies. No whammy. Boom. I just want to have that like aggressive moment of slamming the whammy thing.
And that's back. Just
It
so
is.
you know. Yeah, they make new episodes.
Wow.
I'm a big Game Show Network girl, so.
So what's is your game show Price is Right, right?
I honestly would probably dominate at them all because I watch them all.
Okay, what do we mean by them all? Which games are we talking about?
Well, okay, any of the Price is Right games, right?
Okay.
Family Feud, so good at that.
Yep.
I mean, I could say something you probably have never heard of.
Can you guarantee that the rest of your family is going to be good at that?
Well, see, I would not my actual real family. I don't trust them.
So you make up a family for this?
Yes.
Can I be part of your family then?
We'll do a few rounds and I'll see how good you are, and then maybe.
I would crush it at Family Feud.
Okay, you have the confidence like I do. Okay, then maybe you can be on my family.
At any point during the show, you can give us a call and chime in on what we're talking about. 206-803-ROCK. Danny and Sarah, I want to chat real quickly about something awesome that you did. Was that last night?
I didn't even know they were doing this. And I saw Danny walked in with one of those boxes, a Funko box. And I'm like, the hell has he got a Funko Pop for? I did not realize you guys went to the Funko headquarters in Everett, right?
We did, yeah. Well, so Sarah and so Lily's in town again, and my daughter, she's 9 years old, and I took her last summer to the Funko headquarters, and she loved it.
It's such a cool spot, man.
Yeah, and I'd never been before last year, but then
the Batmobile is my jam.
Oh man, her and Sarah took a picture on the Batmobile this time, and so yeah, this time she comes up and she's like, "Dad, I really want to go to the Funko store because I want to get a Zero Pop because Nightmare Before Christmas. She figured it was Christmas, they might have one there because they didn't have one last time.
Okay,
so I was like, okay, well, we were planning to go up to Linwood to go roller skating with Sarah and her friend last night, so we're like, oh, I'll just go there first. And so I invited Sarah, and sure enough, we get to the Funko and we see that they have the pop yourself things, and we decided to make our own pop.
And this is relatively new because I know they were doing custom a year ago or so, but it was really limited options. Like, I mean, I probably had the best chance of making a Funko Pop that looks like me. I just get a bald thing without hair, and it's like I'm pretty easy to make. Yeah, right. But now it's like the customization is a lot nicer.
They're adding a lot more stuff to it. It was funny too because it's like last year when I took Lily, they had the pop yourself, and it's just like a kiosk. You go up and you make it digitally, and then you print out a receipt, and then they just scan everything, and then it
makes it right there.
Yeah, like 5-10 minutes later.
I think that's the part I'm most impressed with because remember back when you'd go to like a Build-A-Bear workshop and you could make a little teddy bear in a matter of minutes. How are they printing out and packaging up a whole Funko Pop in that amount of time? I'm very, very interested to know.
We have the technology, Terry.
We are living in 2024.
Come on, get with it.
That's awesome.
My favorite part was that I left. So Sarah got there a little later than Lily and I because traffic was absolute nightmare last night going north.
Welcome to Snohomish County, baby.
My gosh. So she finally gets there and she starts doing her pop yourself, and I leave to walk Lily around the store. 20 minutes later, she's still there going between two colors of shirts.
Well, I'm looking at Sarah's Funko Pop, and it's got a bottle of wine in it.
Was a box not an option?
It wasn't, unfortunately. You could have a glass or a bottle. I, of course, chose
Definitely
the bottle.
And what's in your other hand? Is that a cell phone?
You could choose a cell phone. I was debating between a cell phone or what I ended up getting, which is a remote controller.
A remote controller? What is that?
Because so I can watch my game shows. Hello? It's like for TV. A remote controller.
No, I understand what a remote controller is. It just seems like an odd accessory to have on your Funko
So
Pop.
many options.
When I think of Sarah, I don't think of, she loves watching TV. That's her thing.
Well, I mean, there was like an ice cream cone I was thinking of getting.
That's way cooler.
But then I was like, do you ever think of me eating ice cream? I never talk about ice cream.
It's a personal question. But it's got the bangs or the hair. It looks great.
It's super cute.
It's very on brand. And Danny, yours has it looks like a ghost and a pumpkin.
Yeah, so, the ghost is my little pet, which at that point you could add little pets.
Do you have to pay more for the pet?
Yeah, it's like $4.
So how much do these things cost?
The whole thing was $30, and then you add, mine was $4 for the extra little ghosty because I like the little ghost. But yeah, I have a guitar and a little jack-o'-lantern.
Do you have tattoos?
No, that's the only thing. They don't have tattoos.
They don't have tattoos yet, so
No.
you have to maybe get a permanent marker and just kind of put them on there.
I'm actually going to take it to a tattoo artist here in Seattle. I'm going to have them just go ahead and...
No, you can have George paint it.
Nice. Sarah's husband, George, he paints Warhammers. He'll paint your arm.
Get his little glasses on and his headlamp. You'll be all set up. Steve, we got to go and
Let's
do that.
go.
I want to do it.
I'm in for doing that sometime soon.
I'll meet you there. So we're going to see how great this crew is at Name That Tune. It's our version of that game, but it's a little more extreme. It's called Hook or Shook, and we will play at 9:17.
The Daily Migs Show presents the Extreme Music Showdown. Let's play Hook or Shook. Please sign this waiver before we continue. Thank you. We'll drop a 1-second snippet of the hook of a song. If you can't name the song, watch out. You're going to get shook.
The name of the game is Hook or Shook, and yesterday, our very own Sarah was the loser. So today, Sarah, we're going to let you pick who you're going to go head-to-head with. Will it be me or Steve Migs?
I'm choosing Steve Migs today.
Oh, man. All right. right, let's go.
Well, you know what I'm going to do while you guys are gearing up for this? I'm going to get the shot glass filled with hot sauce that will be the punishment for whoever is the loser today.
All right.
Well, I guess if you both win, then Danny has to take it.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think you should take it too.
Okay, I'll take it too.
Yeah.
I like how we're just adding stuff to this. Okay, who's going first? You have to pick.
Do I get to pick the hot sauce? Okay, so we have Tabasco and Frank's Red Hot.
I can't do hot sauce either way, so I really hope I don't lose.
All right, well, losers pick. Who's going first?
You.
All right. I'm ready to do this.
Are you ready, Steve?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Oh, man, that's a good one. Same old situation, Motley Crue.
Oh.
You got it right. SOS for short, which is what you need, Sarah.
I really thought maybe you weren't going to get it.
Dude, I knew it was Motley Crue. I got a little nervous.
Picking the title? You nailed it.
Is this up the Dr. Feelgood album?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Danny's a fan of Motley Crue.
All right.
Sarah. Do you have a choice between Frank's or Tabasco?
I want to try Frank's.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had Frank's in my
All
life.
right, I'm putting it in right now.
All right, here we go, Sarah.
Wow. No faith.
You've had no Franks in your life?
No.
Sorry.
College, Taryn on the other hand.
Okay. All right, here we go, Sarah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I don't even know that one.
Ooh.
Taryn, do you know it?
I feel like I got the artist, but that song.
Let's do it one more time.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got it! And it was a totally different artist than what I first thought.
That was one free pass. If you ask for another hint, she has to take two.
The whole body.
Oh, gosh. We're going to go Rage Against the Machine.
Ooh. So wrong!
Monkey Wrench.
Oh, no! Are you kidding?
When I first heard the clip, I thought it was Brent Smith from Shinedown. I thought it was a Shinedown song.
Yeah.
Then upon the second listening, I got it.
I would have got that one wrong.
What?
Oh, man.
And I love that song.
And you typically, like that. Well, yesterday at least, that was your go-to, was the Foo Fighters, even though it wasn't a Foo Fighters song.
No, and I love the Foo Fighters. I love Dave Grohl. I'm so upset with myself.
It's not even a full shot, Sarah. I was being kind because...
So not only are you going to be upset with yourself, but your stomach is going to be upset as well. Here is your shot of Tabasco or Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's Red Hot.
They put that stuff on everything.
They do put that stuff on
Sarah's
everything.
tongue.
Ooh, here we go.
Do it for the Foo Fighters.
Wow. She does know how to take a shot, though, y'all. Yes.
Oh, there it was.
Get to the last drop.
Oh, my gosh. Get the garbage can.
Oh.
I feel so bad. She's 0 for 2 now.
Oh, Sarah.
My gosh. That's not great at all.
That was great
I
with
almost
chicken
feel
wings.
like I should take one in solidarity. I just feel bad for you. That looked rough.
I would love that if you did that. I love other people's pain. It actually makes me feel better, to be honest.
Same. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, good work, Sarah.
Thanks.
Over 2. So there's a few of these rock albums that are turning 30 this year, you guys. And every time a list like this comes around, it makes me feel old personally. I'm going to tell you which albums are turning 30 this year. Next on The Rock.
The Daily Migs Show.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Welcome to 2024 and the Daily Migs Show.
Quick update on our friend Sarah, who had to do a shot of Tabasco sauce or Frank's Red Hot sauce in the last break. How did that go for you?
Not great.
You still not feeling good?
Not really, no, honestly. But I'm trying to be a champ.
Let's pass her a Tums. Hope for a smooth recovery.
I still
She's sitting over there, visibly uncomfortable.
Yes, I feel it in my mouth, and now it's like kind of like the heartburn area. I feel it like going down slowly.
Mm-hmm. Well, tomorrow may be your opportunity for redemption, Sarah.
Yes.
I think everyone's rooting for you at this point.
Hopefully.
So this year, there are some big records that are turning 30, you guys. The Dirty 30. And some of these...
The Dirty 30.
The
Okay.
Dirty 30. And some of the highlights we have for you here this morning to run through a few albums turning 30 that will make you feel old.
So this is definitely going to make us feel old, because I'm thinking about 30 years ago. We're talking like, for a lot of the rockaholics, and ourselves included, that would be like teen years, or even like younger than teen, or even maybe like kind of pushing towards college. But like that feels like That doesn't feel that long ago.
No,
I kind of feel like I'm in Arrested Development, so this is going to bother me.
Looking at this list, they all, to me, look like new albums. It's very embarrassing. Danny, kick us off.
All right. Oh, is this Super Unknown?
Super Unknown.
Soundgarden.
Yep.
Classic. Have you spent any time listening to this record recently?
I mean, not in its entirety recently.
Honestly, do yourself a favor, maybe like when you're driving or whatever, just put it on from beginning to end. I forget how much of a... I mean, I hate to throw this term out because, it gets used a lot, but masterpiece. But that record is a masterpiece, man. It's so good from beginning to end. And I've always felt like I'm more of a Bad Motorfinger fan as far as Soundgarden because I like how weird and crazy it is. But when I listen to Super Unknown, it's every song is so well written.
Well, that's going to be my new job for myself is to listen. Today, I'm listening to the album on my way home.
No pressure.
No pressure. Danny, what's next?
It's like the worst band ever, right, Danny?
Ha ha, the best band ever, yeah.
And they did a beautiful job with the 30th anniversary reissue of Dookie, Green Day's Dookie.
Yeah, they really, and I still want that box set so bad.
You haven't splurged? I thought for sure you were going to do it for Christmas.
You know what's funny is they still have it at Easy Street Records still, and every time I go, it's this like silver box that just glares at me, and I'm like, one day you will be mine. I know I'm going to pull the trigger. I just haven't yet.
One of my favorite things to share about that album is I got to see them tour in support. Well, I say tour in support of that record, but it's kind of cheating. They were the very first band on stage at Lollapalooza when I was like a teen. And I got to go to Lollapalooza, and it was all these great bands. And the first band, luckily, like they changed. They were only they were only on the tour for a certain leg of it, and I was lucky enough to see them in New York. And I mean, getting to see Green Day when they were touring in support of that record was like, holy crap, this band's awesome.
That's their prime, probably.
Mm-hmm. At least the start of it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, up next.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Shall I take your order, or do you need a minute?
Yes, I'll be ready. Just buying a car on Carvana.
What?
It's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do was answer a few questions.
What? That's handy.
Yeah, now I'm customizing my down and monthly payments.
What? That's an exquisite deal.
And just like that, Carvana's delivering my car in a couple days.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll have the burrito.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval. Delivery fees may apply.
Mike Rowe here with a radical idea. If you want to see more companies make more things in this country, buy more things from more companies who make things in this country. I refer in this case to the incredible T-shirts, sweatshirts, blue jeans, and more made by my friends at American Giant. Everything American Giant makes is made in the United States. And right now, you can take 20% off your first order at american-giant.com/Mike. That's american-giant.com/Mike.
I'm so glad you used this part. I feel like this was used for every UFC fighter or pro wrestler to just be like, I'm all aggro.
In a tracksuit, Jonathan Davis.
It's Corin's self-titled record.
Yes.
And it's blind. I could see.
This is a great one. I love that
You know
song.
what's funny about that one is that I was a fan of Korn back in the day, but I never got to go see them. But I remember somebody showing me video from when they opened their show, and they would open with that song, and I was like, that has to be one of the greatest openings to a rock concert ever.
I remember seeing them. It was at an End Fest back when they used to do them over at the Kitsap County Fairgrounds, and the place was just ready. You know what I mean? Like when you get a vibe that a crowd is just ready to freaking go for a band. I mean, to the point where people were taking water bottles and throwing them at each other. Like this weird aggression was just building and bubbling, and then they go on stage. Thankfully, because we're like, oh my gosh, some of those water bottles weren't empty, and there was like a sea of water bottles just flying in the air in the pit. And then once they started playing that part of the song, I'm like, well, this ain't going to get any more peaceful.
They're not going to get any less ready.
But it was amazing because as it's building. And then when the Are You Ready part hits, that crowd went bonkers. It was awesome. Yeah.
Another Danny.
Yeah. You're talking about prime for Green Day. This to me was the prime of Weezer.
Absolutely. The Blue Album, legendary.
Blue Album, Pinkerton, the Green record. And then the other records had some decent songs, but this is like...
That's like quintessential Weezer.
Cover to cover, beginning to end. Every song on that album is just great.
I feel like Danny's loving this list so far.
I really am.
Okay, of course he's loving it. It's his favorite band.
And I'm so interested to see what they're going to do for the 30th anniversary of Smash.
This one really throws me off as far as being 30.
This one reminds me of Christmas. Because I got this record for Christmas, and I was so fired up, and I was playing it loud in my room, and then the Bad Habit song went on, and then Mom and Dad had a conversation with me. Because that song had that, you stupid, dumb-ass mother... blanker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ah.
You know what's funny, too? Is
I don't even know how to drive, but I want to learn how to drive so I can have road rage.
With that album, I was around for their 20th anniversary. But no, I mean, it was only 10 years ago, but I bought like the super box set. It came in like this wood box, and I was so excited. They sent me like a tour laminate. It was like the big...
I hear you say it sent me, like it was like...
It was just
you.
me. Yeah, no, it's just me.
Dear Danny.
I think it was limited to like 100. So
that's actually kind of cool.
It was really limited. But now I'm like... They have their 30-year coming out. Do I buy the 30th anniversary edition too?
Or the answer, of course, is yes.
Okay.
It's your favorite
You don't
band.
want to have regrets.
Sweet, I'm going to do it.
You make stupid purchases, and it's your favorite band. I mean, that's the recipe for yes.
Thank you.
We have one more clip.
Wow. Pantera. We talked about them earlier with Metallica.
Yes, I already anticipate having a bangover after Pantera opens for Metallica this summer. A bangover is what happens when you headbang so hard and your neck muscles are not in good shape, and then you can't lift your head off the pillow the next day without assistance.
Did that mean something different when you were at college?
Wazoo?
At Wazoo?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
It's a completely different bangover.
I didn't experience that in my college, but I figured.
Pantera's Far Beyond Driven.
That's insane. That's just, I mean, even one person texted and saying, you're telling me Dookie turns 30 this year. I'm 33. I'm old.
What's really crazy, last year, every member of Green Day turned 50, and that really messed with my head. I'm like, how is Green Day 50? I mean, not the band, the people, but still, that one definitely threw me off.
It was actually kind of funny because Steve and I were having this conversation, I think before the break even, and it was just funny to me because between Dookie and then American Idiot, because it's also a big anniversary for American Idiot. 20 years of American Idiot this year, because that came out in 2004. And I was telling Steve, it was funny because I remember back when that happened, I was in high school, and everyone was like, oh my God, Billy Joe looks so young. He never ages. And I was like, dude was 31 at the time that American Idiot came. That's not old.
He was young.
Nowadays, he's older nowadays.
He still looks great.
He still looks great.
Yeah.
But like back then, it was like, it only was 10 years between those albums, which is just mind-blowing to me.
That is also, I love these lists. I don't love them because they do make you feel like, oh my gosh, where is time gone? But it's also a fun reminder to be like, you know what, I got to spend some time and listen to that record, like Korn's first record. I haven't listened to that from beginning to end in probably 20 years.
Well, now that we're in the age of streaming and building playlists and things like that, it kind of loses the sanctity of listening to an album start to finish the way it was intended to be enjoyed.
I try to do that recently. I'm trying to be better at that. Like, hey, I just want to listen to a full record. Like, I recently listened to, what's the album? Is it Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yes.
That record, I forgot how great it is.
That was 1999?
Because you hear all the songs. Obviously, we hear a lot of songs on KSW, and you hear those songs a billion times, and you're just like, okay, I don't know if I really want in my free time listen to this band when I hear them so much at work. But then I put on that whole record. I'm like, man, the songs that I've heard a billion times when they're put into the context of the album are phenomenal.
And I'm a vinyl collector.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of nice too. If you can ever get it on vinyl, get it on vinyl, because then it kind of forces you to listen to it.
That's my favorite part.
Yes.
You sit down because you know you got to flip the record at some point. So it's kind of invested listening.
It's very an active situation. I really love that.
One more thing about Korn. I don't know if you ever listened to that full record, but there's one song on there. I think it's called Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when I was first listening to that record, I'm like, Jam, I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. Reading, when you're a kid, that you got the CD or whatever, the cassette, and you're reading the lyrics along or whatever it may be. And I remember listening to that song, and then you're listening and you're paying attention to the lyrics. I'm like, I'm really depressed. Like that song might be one of the heaviest content. It's just too much to absorb. Like it will. If you're in a good mood, that mood is over.
I mean, one more thing about corn. Have you ever put it in your spaghetti? If you missed that earlier today, you can check out the Daily Migs podcast. We have it up at KISW.com.
Jonathan Davis and Monkey in my spaghetti is delicious.
One of the most iconic children's cartoon characters is going to be turned into a villain in a horror film. We're going to tell you who that is at 9:47. One day closer to Friday Rockaholics. My name is Taryn Daly, joined by Steve Migs. We are the Daily Migs Show with Danny and Sarah. And we've learned that the earliest version of Mickey Mouse is now public domain, which I didn't realize this was like a whole thing, but it's a copyright situation.
This happened 2 years ago, maybe, with Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
do you remember when Winnie the Pooh became public domain?
A free agent.
And then anyone could do whatever they want with it, which is like, whoa. And somebody turned it into like some kind of a weird horror film, which I thought. And then I remember being like slightly intrigued. And then I saw some of the clips. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I could live my life without seeing this. This is just too creepy.
Well, apparently it's happening again. That iconic Steamboat Willie, the earliest iteration of Mickey Mouse, is going to be in a movie called Mickey's Mouse Trap. And it's a human in a comically small Mickey Mouse mask terrorizing young people at an arcade.
So do you think this is made by the same people that did the Winnie the Pooh? Because that's kind of what the Winnie the Pooh is, like a dude dressed as Winnie the Pooh. And that didn't really appeal to me. I'd much rather see a cartoon, we have the technology. You could do this stuff like rather easily. I can. I'm not talented enough. But people can make cartoons kind of quick now on the computers and with AI abilities. I'd rather see the old school Mickey Mouse cartoon murdering people.
Wow. Well, the trailer says, quote, a place for fun, a place for friends, a place for hunting. The mouse is out.
A place for fun.
No release date has been set, but we will keep you posted on that, Rockaholics.
All right, if something, public domain or not, you can pick any children's character, like children's show character, to turn into like a Mike Myers, Jason Voorhees, Chucky, serial killer in a movie. Who would you pick?
It'd be really wild if it was Robin Hood. Because now he went from taking care of, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Then now he's the murderer.
Okay, I wasn't thinking you were going to go down that road. That makes mine feel weirder. I was going to pick Peppa Pig, and she goes around and she kills people and makes them her own version of bacon.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
She's on a holiday for murder. Sarah, I'm feeling like you're going towards Barney. Wasn't that your?
Yes. I didn't even think of Barney.
You were obsessed with Barney.
I was, but you know what I first thought of? I thought of Piglet. From Winnie the Pooh, because it's just so cute. And then, it's just like, I'm so cute, love me. And then rips your face off.
Just kidding.
See, I like Barney, though, because I love you, you love me. And then he all of a sudden realizes nobody really loves you. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to just kill you all. Yeah.
I do love that. I'm going with Barney. You're right.
Could you guys imagine your dog eating $4,000 cash?
No.
You're going to find out about this and more in the Daily Migs download after Nirvana.
The Daily Migs Show. Knowledge is power. So give us 5-ish minutes and we'll give you, some interesting stuff you can talk about at work. This is the Daily Migs download.
AKA the DMD.
Here's your daily dose of doings happening in the world.
Happy Friday Eve, Rockaholics. It is time to get informed by the Daily Migs Show. And we have the drunk in charge, Ryan Castle, with us to help out.
Ryan!
Because when you think information, think me.
Oh, yeah. You're our news leader.
Yeah.
The Daily Migs download brought to you by Palace Law. I have to talk about this right now. I'm going to do it in the best possible way because I know it could get kind of dirty, but not in a naughty way, but in a filthy way, because there's a couple in Pittsburgh. Their names Clayton and Carrie. Apparently, we're getting a new fence put up in their house, and the people probably want to avoid some tax stuff. They're like, hey, we'll do it for $4,000 cash. So Clayton's like, all right, I'll go get some cash out of the bank. He brought it home.
Always a big red flag.
Oh, yeah. But it's worth it for the deal. Anyways, they have a golden doodle. And, of course, we have a mini golden doodle now. And those things are terrors. But apparently this golden doodle decided, you know what? I'm going to eat that money.
Oh, no.
$4,000 ate all of it. 7-year-old golden doodle, a big stack of 50s and 100s. Apparently that's what the golden doodle likes. Good news, they got it back. And yes, they had to get it back
the hard way.
The back way.
Yeah.
Actually, some of it, I guess the dog puked some of the cash up, but the rest, they had to wait until it was time for things to come out. And apparently, like, the bank says this happens a lot. As long as you got the serial number, you can make it happen. But, you know, it also got digested, so you had to, like, put pieces together like a puzzle.
No
like
thanks.
That scene from Cheech and Chong when they're following around the dog trying to get their weed back.
Here's the crazy part. They got back $3,550 of it.
All right.
So
they didn't
lost
get
$400.
$450 on the deal, but still, that's still better than losing
And
all
then the
of
guy
it.
never built the fence and took the money.
Yes.
Thankfully, Cecil, that's the name of the dog. The dog's fine.
Good to know. Did you hear about these base jumpers? They catapulted themselves off of a 37-story building in First Hill.
You see that, Ryan?
Yeah, usually not what I think of when I think of getting high in that neighborhood.
Oh, no. Not at all. And apparently where they landed, the parking lot is like right next to I-5.
Yeah, it's like right out our window.
It is right out our window. I'm sad that we didn't actually get to see it.
Sarah, we talked about it earlier. I want to quiz Ryan. Did you know that BASE actually stands for something?
No.
BASE. Buildings, antennae, spins, and earth.
Oh.
All for them to jump off of.
Fantastic.
So a neighbor told Como News that the base jumpers glided right past his window in the upper floors of this high-rise condo complex.
Speaking of Como News, I don't know if you guys remember this show. I remember it. It was hosted by Cindy Reinhardt, who sadly passed away at the age of 75 years old. So thoughts to her family and all the friends that known her. When I first moved out here, she hosted a show where she basically gave a recap of all the soap operas. Do you remember this, Ryan?
No.
Okay, she was called the Queen of Soaps. She hosted Northwest Afternoon, and the entire show was her just telling you what happened on all the soap operas.
Would have made a great podcast in 2024.
Dude, I don't even watch soap operas. I was watching the show like, this is just so fascinating to me that this lady is just giving us a rundown of every single soap opera that's been on.
I think that might be the new career goal of mine. I just want to review soap operas. I want to watch soap operas all day and then give reviews.
Stories about
that sounds like a fun job.
Yeah, she would do, like, she said they kept track of 10 different soap operas at a time, and she would, like, give her own, like, humor and wit about it, and had a studio audience, I believe, talking about it as well. It's kind of crazy when you think about that was a show.
That's amazing.
That is insane.
But much love to Cindy Reinhardt. She was always fun to watch, and she seemed like she was like just a fun individual. All the interviews that she used to do had a lot of humor to them.
Love it. The price of postage, it's going up 2 cents later this month.
Ryan Castle, do you know how much a stamp is?
I have forever stamps that I bought at Costco, so I'm good probably for the rest of my life.
If you had to throw a number out there, what do you think a stamp would cost you?
35 cents.
Way more. Not way more.
55 cents.
More.
I was thinking 40-something cents.
More.
What? How much, Danny?
I have no idea. I was thinking 67.
Oh, you're so close.
One kidney.
Go down one.
Oh,
66 cents.
Oh, so you went over. You lost.
I know.
That is, I had no idea. I'm a Forever Stamps buyer myself.
We did that at Costco recently, and my wife said, we need some stamps. We should just get the Forever stamps. I'm like, all right. And then they rang it up, and I'm like, what are we buying?
I had no idea.
But
you know, I should have known. You're buying them at Costco. You're buying a lot of them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's like $60.
I made that mistake. I have stamps forever. I have forever stamps forever.
We're good, too. Hey, the Kraken, they're entering tonight's game against the Ottawa Senators, riding a 9-game point streak. That's the longest point streak in franchise history. So hopefully they continue their winning ways. Hopefully Joey DeCourage between the pipes as well. He looked great during the Winter Classic. It was an absolute blast watching them play. And now, new year, hopefully the winning ways continue for your Seattle Kraken. Weather today, we're hitting a high of 48 degrees. It's going to rain as well.
Well, thanks for waking up with the Daily Migs Show. Ryan Castle is up next with the Morning 12-pack.
The Daily Migs Show.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned.
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Get ahead of postage rate increases this year with Stamps.com. It's like your own personal post office. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.